Hello, my friends. My friends. Marlo. In the middle of your move, but they can still be first goat, best goat, Marlo. Yeah. Also, hello to Grumpy.
You do speak. And all this time I thought you were just a big, wild, quiet, silent person thing. Why didn't you tell me?
And to Amethyst, hello. And to Ame, I hope you're all having a very good day. There is a singular fly flying around near my head, and it's very upsetting, but it'll be just what it needs to be, I guess. I don't know. But yes, how are you all doing? I know Marlo is in the middle of moving, which is very good and exciting. Oh, look at my roots. I dye my hair next week, so we're close. We're getting there. Soon. New color. And Ame, I know that you're getting ready to move, and so you've been saying bye to friends and having good friend time. I know that it's hard, but it's so good, and I'm so glad. Ooh, and the sun is coming out. The weather today has been wild. It's been wild. So it's been blue skies, sun shining, dumping rain. Blue skies, rain. Blue skies, rain. And as many of you know from yesterday, like, it has just been one of those weeks for me this week in terms of, like, that's how I feel. Like, last week after our shell tours and everything on Sunday, I was feeling so good, back to my normal self, back in my regular med routine, and then Wednesday hit and my body said nope, and my neck decided that it was going to have a major pain attack, and I was not really functioning very well on Wednesday. I functioned, but not as well as I would have liked. And then Thursday, I was a sleepy toads, and I went to bed at like 6 o'clock at night. Well, I think I actually fell asleep closer to like 4:35. Sleepy toad. But yesterday, we got to hang out with the goats, and we got a very surprise goat reveal of the daddies. Hi, Lottie. You're on your Switch, so you can't chat much. Oh my gosh, Lottie, I love you so much. We were playing, oh, thank you, Ame. We were playing Don't Starve. Was that Friday night? And Lottie hopped into the voice chat, and I just went, Lottie, I love your face! And I think that I scared her. I just love your face. I'm sorry. Yes. But yeah, please go check out Lottie. She is an incredible, lovely, super cozy streamer who plays games that are not super cozy, kind of like me. But she just finished playing through The Walking Dead, and it was so good, and we all cried together. Very cathartic. But yes, so I realize I'm probably gonna say this a couple of times until I get it updated on the website and stuff, but goat daddies, if you wanted to know. Mickey Mouse is the daddy to Tammy's babies, Olaf and Elsa, which is not surprising. We kind of knew that. And I thought that he was probably gonna be the dad for Darlin's kids too, for Steven and Raya and Isaac, because they're all, well, 2 out of the 3 of them are pulled, which means they don't even grow horns. It's like a genetic trait, and of all my boys, Mickey's the one who has that in his genetics, so I assumed the results would come back and he would just be the daddy king for the season. Not so. Mickey Mouse is now a grandfather because his son Kristoff is the dad of Darlin's babies. So that was very exciting and fun to figure all of that out, and to get to share it, because I got the results, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago in my email, and I've been like holding on to them. I didn't even tell Grumpy, so they were all surprised, and so yeah, it was just super fun. And then we bathed the boy daddies, and they're less stinky today. They're still a little mad at me, but not too mad. And so the VOD is up if you do want to go check it out. It was a very like cozy lurky afternoon of me being soaking wet. We went and raided to Minka because she's a goat owner, so I figured she would understand that I had to de-stream a little bit quicker than normal, because I literally couldn't even sit in my gaming chair because I was like soaked. And yeah, it was just super fun. I'll probably try to cut them down into some highlight videos, because at the very least they'll end up on TikTok if if you follow me around there, sometimes I make the things on the clock app. Sometimes. But yes, I hope you are all doing very good today. And the game that we're playing, so we played a little bit of Long Live the Queen, and I really do enjoy it, but that one was less, there was definitely story. There wasn't a ton of story. So today we're gonna be playing Amelie. Is that how I'm gonna say it? That's how I'm gonna say it until we get in there, and maybe they'll tell me to say it differently. It is a anime virtual novel game. It is a, oh good, Ame, thank you for telling me. It's so here, how does Steam describe it? That might be the easiest way to, it is your literal name. Oh my goodness. It's the Ame game. Well, it's gay. So, so Steam describes it as, where is, I'm looking at the store page. This is one of the games I bought on sale during Steam's big sale a few weeks ago. So it just came out in December of last year. So December 15th, 2021. It is a psychological mystery Yuri visual novel about a girl named Amelie. Forbidden from leaving the house, Amelie awaits the arrival of her longtime pen pal, Sophia, to her dear friend Lilika's dismay. What secrets will Sophia unravel that were best kept buried? And so, along with all of that, we do have the, oh my gosh, Emma, are you, wait, Emma, are you streaming? Hang on, everybody. I need to go and click on, and thank you for the lurk, but I need to go click on your name. Have you actually, no, but then why is it saying Sims 4? It says you were streaming. It says, I'm gonna go follow Emma. Ew, it's Emma. I go follow. Just in case. But I hope you are having a good day, and I thank you very much for the lurk. Let me press the button. My computer is thinking with all of its things. So many things. Okay. There we go. Oh. Oh my goodness. So much fun. Okay. But yes, and then so you'll see it in the title of the stream for today, but there is a content warning. So !CW if you do need to see it, but Amelie is a mystery virtual novel game that may contain suicide, obsession, death, blood, bones, stalking, pandemic is mentioned, flashing images, and or domestic abuse. And like Tammy the Mama Goat says, I totally understand. If today is not the day for you, this is not the game for you. We'll be back with cozy games on Wednesday. We'll be prepping for our wedding in The Sims. And so Wednesday morning, we're going to start prepping. We'll get the pack installed, and then we will continue. Yes, Ame, go look in your bed. We'll get the pack installed. We'll get everything prepped so that way Thursday afternoon, we can have a wedding, and it will go the way it's going to go. I don't know. From all the reviews on the new wedding pack for The Sims, I'm very nervous, but I totally understand. And I don't know what to expect. I have not played this game before. It's pretty new. I couldn't find a lot in terms of reviews and stuff, but it does look like a pretty classic, sort of, like anime, like horror thriller virtual novel game. So be aware of that. You attempted one time and got very scared and confused. Oh no, Emma! Well, if you ever want some help with all of that stuff, please let me know. And my love language is helping people with technology. So I would love for you to stream because you are a hilarious human. And I am grateful for your existence all the time. And so if you wanted to stream, I would want to watch, personally. I am your number 12 follower. I do think, let's see, I think, are those all of my announcement-y things? I think so. So schedule-wise for the week, Wednesday, 9 a.m.-ish for Sims wedding prep and getting all of that going, and probably making a few more Animal Crossing villager Sims. I know Peach Yasmin has made at least one, which I am very excited about, but if you do decide to make any Sims that are inspired by Animal Crossing villagers and you would like me to put them in my game, I think we're using hashtag totes villagers. And I would love them to be able to attend the wedding. And then Thursday at 1 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, we will be live for the wedding. So excited, so excited, so excited. But I think we can go ahead and dive in, shall we? Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. Ba-doop. And I'm going to unmute the sound. Yes, the music is playing. Let me know how the volume is of it. If it's too quiet, too loud, I can turn it up. Just let me know. What's going on with my... I just need to dye my hair. My roots showing makes me feel like my hair, my scalp is too visible. What if I just did this? Does it look like I'm wearing a wig? Is it my real hair? It is. It's attached. But anyway. Oh goodness. Little loud, but not a ton. Okay. I can turn it down just a smidge. Just like a smidge. All right, let's begin. Where lies your future? Amelie. Oh, we can only do Amelie. Okay. Okay. The rain never seems to cease at this time of the year. It pours from the sky in its unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, enough so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. The pendulum clock on the wall swung back and forth, ticking down the time. Oh God. Amelie. She seems to be late. Perhaps she is not coming after all, Amelie. Why are her eyes red? Wait, but like, why are her eyes red? There is no need to make such a sullen face. Mayhaps this is for the best. It's a lot of perhaps and mayhapses. Okay. She wrote that she would be here, so I shall wait. The young lady named Amelie sat upright on the lounge that rested by the entryway. Her back was straight and her head was level. Do you truly believe it's safe to have visitors during the outbreak? Lilica, I believe we have been isolated long enough and Sophia has written that it is safe. I trust her word. She would not endanger us. And if your pen pal turns out to be a robber in disguise, what then? Ame, robber in disguise? Amelie smiled. She has a way with words that only a woman could have. That's not how that works. Don't get catfished. A lady robber then, yeah. I'm kind of on Lilica's side at this point. Nonsense. By the way, Lilica, have you seen my letters? I can't say that I have. A knock sounded at the door, instantly halting their conversation. Amelie rose from her place and took a steady step forward before Lilica raised a hand to her. Allow me. The door groaned as it slowly swung open and revealed the young woman who knocked at the door. She was drenched from head to toe. That was me yesterday, after bathing goat boys. Amelie stood stock still, unsure of what to say, but that only lasted a moment before the woman at her door bounded forward and wrapped her arms around her. So their eyes are just gonna look like that. That's just how their eyes look. But also, can I have this Udi? I want this. I want this really bad. Amelie! Sophia! She blinked before finally allowing her arms to wrap around Sophia's back. You're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella? Perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the wind. Lilica pushed the door shut, sealing the building. I didn't even think to bring an umbrella. The forecast said sunny all day. My fault for believing it, I guess. I love Sophia. She's got stars. She's got scary pink eye, but I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? You're just as pretty as I knew you'd be. Here on your iPad. Hi, Anna T-Pow. You're here silently. Could I get a shout out for T-Pow, Ame, while you're on your iPad, or is it too much? Ame, this might be like me reading you to sleep, except for with bones. And you too, but what are you wearing? The best thing ever. Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little bit more. No, perhaps it is I that is overdressed. So wait, so with all of their perhaps and mayhaps, I assumed Amelie and Lalika were like, thank you, Grumpy and Ame, all the shout outs. I assumed that this was like set like longer ago, but maybe the pandemic they're talking about like is the pandemic we're in and it's modern times, because Sophia, I mean, this is a modern Udi, maybe not Udi, but like a sweatshirt blanket, and I'm obsessed with it and I really, really want it. Okay. Lalika stood to the side, her arms crossed lightly over her chest. Her long hair reached down nearly to the wooden floor. Pardon my manners, my dear friend. Lalika is here too. I believe I wrote about her in the past. I remember. I've kept all of your letters safe. Don't worry. As you should. Lalika. Nervous about her. Haha, sorry, but is there any chance you have a towel? Of course, my apologies. I would usually have someone here to attend to us, but everyone's been sent home. Only the 3 of us remain. Let me fetch you a towel. Okay. Amelie knew not to run, yet a part of her felt the need to almost skip in joy. She wanted desperately to be back by Sophia's side, chatting about everything that they'd missed in their letters. The two had been pen pals for as long as she remembered. Sophia's letters had first been delivered to the manor by mistake, but for some reason Amelie had felt compelled to reply. Since then, the two had been best friends, even having not met face to face. To finally meet now in the flesh had certainly been of great excitement to Amelie. You just sent me your new sound command? Oh good, Grumpy. Hopefully I'll be able to get that up by Wednesday. She quickly retrieved the towel and made her way back to Sophia's side. Lalika stood a distance away from her, still looking vaguely unhappy. Sophia spun around, a look of surprise on her face when she saw Amelie. Sophia! Oh, Amelie! Please, use this. Thanks, I'll bring an umbrella next time, I promise. I have to step away to help Tiny Toads? Okay. Sophia lightly toweled at her hair and clothing, drying off from the rain she'd found herself in. Then, if you're now dried off, would you care for a tour of the house before afternoon tea? That sounds great. On your right is the pantry, and down that hall is the boiler room, but you shouldn't have any need for those spaces. The two walked side by side with Lalika trailing slightly behind. These are all guest bedrooms. I have prepared this one for your use. If you find anything not to your standards, you can let myself or Lalika know. Amelie, I have a feeling your standards are much higher than mine. I've never been in a house that looks like this. Look at my hoodie, clearly. No, is your home not similar? Well, it's a lot smaller. There is no shame in that. You own your own property, yes? Oh my goodness. How old are they supposed to be that they own their own property? Because we just bought our own property for the first time, and I'm an old. Yeah, I recently bought it. With your husband? What? No, of course not. I'm not married. Your father allowed you to buy property on your own? See, I am an old. I am. So this is why this is already like I'm suspicious. Because Sophia is clearly modern girl, like this century. But Amelie, I feel like, is still in like the 1910s, 1920s maybe? Amelie, you speak like you have blah blah blah. Amelie, you speak just like how you write. I'm so surprised. And you speak quite casually. Lalika. People usually say that about me. Being here around you makes me want to be more formal. What need of there is formality between friends? That's true too. Ahem. So I'm gonna say ahem whenever they write it the way that Tiny Toad says ahem, which is no, she goes ahem. This is the morning room. and next door, the dining room. We'll be having afternoon tea in the sitting room here. So many rooms. So many rooms. Am I Sophia? Upstairs is my bedroom and the master bedroom. I must ask that you don't enter the master bedroom as it belongs to my parents who are currently away. Of course, I won't go poking around anyway. All this walking has made me parched. Shall we take afternoon tea now? Sure, that sounds good. Why don't you have a seat while Alika and I prepare our food? Oh, I can come help. Nonsense, you are my guest. It would be remiss of me to allow you to lift a finger. If you insist, but I'm happy to help anytime. Thank you. I will be back soon. Please rest. You know, it's funny because like Lalika is all concerned that Sophia is going to be like a robber. Hi, Rachel. Right, exactly. This is fine. How are you, my dear? It is so good to see you. Friends, if you are not following the lovely, the amazing, the most sweetest, everybody went to it. I'll beat me to it. But yes, the sweetest. Hi, hello, Rachel. Please, please, please do. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got 2 new pairs of glasses because I was due. And thanks. I just want to live my cozy librarian dreams. I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting there. But how are you doing, Rachel? How are you? I am concerned for Sophia here in the yellow pink star hoodie because I'm not concerned that she's a lady robber. I'm concerned that she's going to get murdered. You're doing well. I'm so glad that you are doing well. I know things have been so busy in your life and things, and so I'm glad to hear. Let's see. Okay, Amelie? Yes? It's nothing. Take your time. Sophia slipped through a doorway and disappeared. Amelie smiled gently, feeling giddy from the bottom of her stomach. Isn't this lovely, Lalika? To have a new face in the house. It feels like forever. Yes, how lovely. I'm glad you are having fun, at the very least. Are you not? What should be a good noise for the ... Should I just go? I feel like that's the noise. That's the noise I'm gonna do. Oh, goodness. But yes, you're so nice to me. So nice to me. Oh, I am very nervous. Nervous about this game. I'm always having fun when we're together, Amelie. Oh, okay, Grumpy. Thank you for redeeming the goat booty break. Are we ready? Are we ready for the goat booty? Because it's time. It's happening. Ready? Friends. Our little goat friend does not have a name yet. Besides goat, booty goat. But, someone had to do it. Here he is for you. Yes, very good booty shaker. For sure. Thank you, Grumpy, for our booty shake break. I appreciate you. Ame, what do you think of the goat booty and the ridiculousness of it all? Because it is ridiculous. Okay. All right. So also, are these two, maybe they're not, I guess I just assume that they're sisters. Maybe they're not sisters. Ah, I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course, our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Okay, so they're friends. Just as much? Indeed. Come along, Lalika. Let us prepare tea. You're in love with him, Ame? Better tell Caleb. Sorry. Have to move to the States, but not for you. It's for Booty Goat. Did you finish the baking yesterday? The pastries are ready for serving. Excellent. I'll just fetch the tea then. Allow me, a lady of your standing shouldn't be doing such a menial task, should she? Don't be absurd. Even Sophia herself seems to be fine in the kitchen. Did you hear how she jumped to help? I should follow in her footsteps. What would your parents think of that? The only noise I know how to make when there's multiple dots. I appreciate the sentiment, but they took with them all of that staff. I have little choice but to prepare my own tea. Oh, T-Pad, thank you so much for contributing to Jackbox Community Game Night. Oh my gosh, what are we at already? Like, we just started that today. It has just began. We're 8% already. That's incredible. And Lottie, thank you so much for contributing to Jackbox Game Night. I see. Then shall I attend to your guest? I wouldn't want her to become lonely. Yeah, I know, because we did a Jackbox night, gosh, a few weeks ago now, and it was so much fun. And I was thinking, like, oh, it'd be nice to be able to do that again, but, like, I never know when to schedule that stuff, and so we make it a community challenge. It's a good way to use that option. But yes, totes put points into it. Okay. Would you? It'll only be a few moments. I don't really want to leave Sophia alone with Lalika, though. Of course, anything for you, Amelie. It will be a good chance for you to become friends, too. I'm sure it will be. I don't trust her. Lalika left the kitchen with slow, deliberate steps. Amelie turned back to the kitchen. I wonder which she would prefer. Ooh, oolong tea or green tea? I think I would prefer... I tend to like an oolong tea better than a green tea. Really, I just want lemon ginger tea all the time. But I feel like it's afternoon, so probably a green tea. Green tea would be my first choice. I'm sure Sophia will agree. There. Amelie retrieved her finest teapot and 3 matching cups. Pink flower blossoms over the white surface. Something about it reminded her of Sophia. Is it because Sophia has creepy pink eyes? I'm back. Oh, Sophia does not look okay. Ah! Sophia? Oh, Amelie. I'm sorry you scared me. Is everything all right? Oh, wait. We lost our music because of the boat boot. Ready? Yes, I think I'm just a little tired. Good. I'm sorry for the delay, but I prepared the tea and the pastries. So, this is what a high tea looks like. High tea will come later. This is just a simple afternoon tea. Will Lalika be joining us? I believe so. Was she here a moment ago? No, she wasn't here. How strange. She told me she was coming to sit with you. Perhaps she gotten herself busy with something else. Should we wait? There's no need. It would be sad to let the tea go cold. I love that. It would be sad to let the tea go cold. So whenever my food is cold, I think that's just the art style, Grumpy, but the eyes are very upsetting. It's true. But I think it's the art style. But, because, like, Tiny Totes is always talking about, like, you know, food being too hot or too cold or what have you. And, I don't know, I would like to be able to tell her it would be sad. Anime girl eyes to the max, yes. Very much so. Amelie poured tea into the 2 cups slowly, copying the movements she'd seen Lalika do time and time again. Did you have much trouble getting here? A little. My ride broke down, so I had to walk for a bit. Broke down? Oh, I'm extremely sorry. If the staff had been here, I would have sent someone to collect you. It's okay. It's just a little rain. I just wouldn't want you catching a fever. My medicine store has been running low of late. Medicine store. Okay. No worries. I usually carry ibuprofen with me. Ibuprofen? I haven't heard of it. Why is she in the past? Anyway, Anyway, I'm glad you've arrived here safely. I'll draw a bath for you later to make sure you are warmed up properly. Grumpy, so this is Amelie. It is a mystery virtual novel. And it's like a horror mystery game. And so basically the whole premise is that this girl, Amelie, and Sophia have been pen pals, and now Sophia has come to visit. And that's kind of the extent of the knowledge I have. You can't do !CW to get the content warnings for the game, because there is some like triggery stuff according to the content warning from Steam. And so thank you. Amelie sipped at her tea before looking down at it with confused expression. A little stale. I'll ask my father to procure a new batch when he arrives home. Where are your parents, by the way? Well, we were separated due to the plague? The plague. They took the staff to wait until a cure is found and left me here with Lalika as to not catch the disease. Right, I understand. I spent a lot of time separated from my family due to the pandemic too. So to be fair, so this game came out in December of last year, so Sophia is talking about COVID. Amelie is talking about the plague. It warms my heart to find another thing in common with you, Sophia. I was surprised to hear that it is safe enough for you to visit. Perhaps that means my parents will be back soon too. I think so. The world seems to be opening back up again. So what do you do, locked up in this big house all the time? They're somehow in two different time periods? I feel like they might be. I mean, maybe that's part of the mystery? I don't know. Like, I'm very curious. I have so many questions already. Well, I usually spend my time sewing or playing music. I used to write, but... What? Well, my parents wondered if it was feminine enough. This is really very interesting. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Sophia. I get to make this noise. Ready? Because that's the noise I make internally whenever I hear things like that. I don't really think that matters. If you enjoy it, then I say you should do it. Sophia, then what about you? Well, I'm studying art at university right now, so I guess that's what I spend most of my time on. You attend university? Yeah, although I'm thinking about dropping out. Oh, now it's Amelie's turn, and it's even more dots. Ready? Sophia, you are truly filled with surprises. You own your own land and you attend school. Oop, how jealous I am. Why don't you do the same? Oh no, I'm not allowed. Of course you are. Anyone can attend within reason. But, well, wouldn't it get in the way of my marriage? You're engaged? Amelie shook her head. No, not yet, but I'm already 19. I'm sure my father has prepared my dowry. An arranged marriage? Yes, naturally. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna start saying ... I don't think I'll ever get married. Really? Doesn't your family object? I don't think they really mind as long as I'm happy. You don't have to either, you know. ... You've given me much to think about, much indeed. Now, I wonder where Lalika has disappeared to. Well, it's no matter. The evening is already coming and soon it will be dark. Shall I draw you a bath? That sounds wonderful. To be honest, I'm not hungry, so can we skip dinner tonight? Of course, if that's what you wish. Let me show you to the bathroom. Interesting. You may not believe it, but my father had taps installed. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my god, could you imagine being Sophia? You've been like writing back and forth with this girl and like kind of into her, and you finally like get up the nerve to go and visit, and she lives in a freaking castle, and she's like from another time. I feel like Sophia is dense. would think she could pick up on the fact that they are functioning in 2 different times. I mean, she is calling it out, though. She's like, of course you can do these things. What do you mean? Like, why wouldn't that be the case? Like, she's asking questions, but I don't know. I don't know if I was Sophia, I don't know if I would. One, I probably wouldn't go and visit and plan to stay at the person's house. Like, I would have backup plans on backup plans. So, like, because I've gone and visited friends in New Zealand that I knew through gaming and stuff, and like, we did end up staying with them, but we also, for our first couple of nights there, we already had hotel rooms reserved, and we had the funds if we needed to extend those hotel stays, just in case, because people be weird. And so, I don't know. Like, taps for a bath? It's very possible. Sophia is probably the same age, right? So they're like 19. At 19, if someone said, oh yeah, we had taps installed, isn't that great? Would I know what that meant? That's right, we used to have our maids fill the bath, but now there's no need. Amelie, you're so strange. I have taps at my house too. Truly? You must live quite the lavish lifestyle yourself. I don't know about that. She is in college, but like, I don't know if, like, the context, I don't know. This is the bathroom. Allow me to draw the bath for you. One moment. With haste, Amelie entered the room and began to fill the copper bath. It sat in the middle of a spacious bathroom. It was something Amelie was particularly proud of. She smiled as it filled before rejoining her companion. Feel free to go inside and make yourself comfortable. I will return with a towel in the moment. Thanks, Amelie. She disappeared inside the room, leaving Amelie alone in the hall. I should light the sconces too. Where did I put those matches? Ah! Why did that scare me? That scared me so bad. Lalika just, hello. Wait, ready? Let's see, can I do it? Ready? Right here. Like, jeez Louise, lady. Oh my goodness. With your red eyes. Ah! You gave me a fright, Lalika. Where have you been? Preparing the guest room for your dear friend, of course. How kind. Sophia is just preparing for a bath at the present. I'm going to retrieve a towel for her from the linen closet. ... Amelie, I think it best you send her home post-haste. What? Why would I do that? For all you know, she brings with her the plague. I think for Lalika, I've been like trying to think about like what voices to do. So for Sophia, I kind of have like a little bit higher pitch, like young college girl, almost valley girl voice. For Amelie, it is very like, not too deep because she's still young, but definitely sophisticated. For Lalika, I think I might go like mean girl. I think I'm gonna go mean girl. Sophia says it is now safe to travel. She believes father and mother will be returning soon. I believe it is perfectly safe. And what if she lies? She wouldn't do that. Sophia is a kind and good-natured person. She would not bring any danger to us. Did you know that Sophia attends a local university and she lives by herself with no husband? She says that if I wanted, I could also study. The lady of the house should not study, Amelie. You must stay inside the house and await your parents. But I'm sure mother would want the best for me. Perhaps while I await her, I could go inspect Sophia's school. Amelie. ... You must stay inside and await your parents' return. But don't you trust me? Have I ever tried to lead you astray? No, Lalika. I was just thinking that perhaps it truly is beginning to be safe. Look, I have brought today's newspaper. Do you see the title? The plague runs rampant. Put any notion of leaving or studying away for now. Yes, as soon as it is truly safe to do so, then we shall, and you will be reunited with your family. For now, it is just you and me. Thanks, Lalika. I'm glad you're here. As am I. Ah, the towel. Let me go retrieve it. Go ahead. I want to see the newspaper. I want to see the newspaper. The linen cupboard was filled with various towels and bedding, all clean and properly folded thanks to Lalika. Which would suit her? I'm gonna go with blue towel. The blue is almost the same color as her hair. With her chosen towel in hand, Amelie returned to the bathroom door where Lalika awaited her. She first knocked at the door, and when there was no reply, she opened it carefully. The sound of the tap running still came from inside. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Sophia, I knocked, but I didn't hear a reply. I brought you a towel. I'm nervous. Ah, okay, she's alive. That's good. ... Amelie first saw a slender, marble-like back. Then she noticed the blue hair that fell on those bare shoulders, one side tucked carefully behind an ear. Oh, Sophia has blue hair like me? I didn't even realize. Oh, Sophia, please forgive me. I didn't realize you had already entered the bath. No, it's okay. I'm sorry. You just surprised me. I'll leave the towel over here. Thanks. ... Did you tell her that she must depart? No, Is something the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Your face is bright red. As red as my eyes. Sophia will stay until she decides to leave. ... As you wish. I'm sorry, Lalika, but the image of that small and beautiful back filled up Amelie's mind. I believe it is only fair after she's traveled so far, and she is my friend. I will finish preparing the guest room. Let me come help. Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come to your room. From the other side of the door, Sophia's voice came in return. Okay, thanks, Amelie. The guest bedroom was freshly cleaned with new linen on the bed and a lit lantern beside it. You did a fine job of preparing the room so far. Thank you, Lalika. Anything for you. I was thinking tomorrow, if the rain has cleared up, we could open the greenhouse again and have morning tea there. It's been so long since we last used it. ... Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave the house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it's only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe. You know this. What's gotten into you? Is it because of your friend? ... I just thought it would be nice to at least sit in the sun. Then you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Are they vampires? Are they vampires? Is it really so unsafe that even taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Vampires. Yes. Cause we're vampires. Sophia, I see you done with the bath. Amelie shook her head, trying to remove the image that was still plastered to it. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes, did you see it when you arrived? The red hair one doesn't know she has shifted times. This one? I mean, her hair's more brown, but Amelie, I don't know. It doesn't seem to appear so. And Lalika doesn't seem surprised by Sophia or the things Sophia says. And so it makes me wonder if I'm curious. Brown, red, same difference. Okay. The middle one. Yeah, she doesn't seem to like really be aware that anything is amiss, I guess. I did, but it looked as if the plants inside had died. Oh, that's impossible. It's barely been any time at all since the gardeners left. I'm sure the plants inside are more sturdy than that. Well, even if they have died, maybe we could go in and replant some things tomorrow. Oh, how wonderful! Have you not heard a word I said? It is unsafe to do so. Oh. Don't be such a spoil sport. I think it would be perfectly fine. ... Well, it's getting late now, so I'll leave you to retire. If you need anything, my room is just upstairs on the left. Good night, Sophia. Laliga left first. The door, which was still hanging slightly open, shifted as she went. Amelie, would you stay for a while? Is something the matter? Just a little homesick. Sophia sunk into the bed, sighing as her head hit the pillow. Of course, why don't we chat for a while? Then come join me. Sophia gently pet the spot beside her in the bed. In the bed? Okay. The bed was still rather firm, unused by many guests. Amelie took a deep breath to calm her racing heart before she finally looked towards Sophia. Thanks for staying with me for a while. It's nothing to worry about. Truly, I want to spend more time with you too. Really? You don't find me boring? You're the most interesting person I've ever met. Don't be silly. I am being completely honest. You truly are so unique. ... I think the same about you. Oop, I pressed the button. I've never met anyone like you, really. You wrote so much about yourself, and yet seeing you in person, I fear there is still so much I don't know. There's plenty of time for us to tell each other everything. Then tell me something about yourself, something you've never told anyone. I'm partially blind in my right eye. Really? How well can you see? It's okay, just a little blurry, really. You tell me something. Well, when I was 12, I stole the cookie jar from the kitchen and blamed my brother. He was scolded for hours. What a mischievous child. I'm sure your brother wasn't all too pleased. Actually, it was his idea. He knew I wanted it and told me to tell my parents it was him if I was asked. What a good brother. Where is he now? Did he go away with your parents? Amelie shook her head. He died when he was 16. Oh, I'm so sorry, Amelie. What happened? Scarlet fever, so my family was left with only me as an heir. And what worth is and she's still talking. And what worth is a female heir? Does Sophia still not realize that there's something weird happening here? You're worth plenty, more than plenty. Thank you, Sophia, but some days I am unsure. It's your turn again. ... Truthfully, I said before I didn't want to get married, but that's not exactly right. I do. Oh? I just don't want a husband. ... Then... I'm sorry, does it make you uncomfortable? No. I have also thought that I don't want a husband. Whenever my father has brought it up, I've felt sick to my stomach. How about coming away with me for a while? Away? Outside of the house? What about the sickness? It's okay now. You'll be okay. You could come stay at my house. I could show you around my school. You don't have to go through an arranged marriage if you don't want to. ... You would do that for me? Get down with the sickness, Grumpy. You're my dearest friend, and I actually... ... And banging on the door. Lalika? At some point, the two women had gotten close enough together that they could feel each other's breath on their lips. The two parted with reddened cheeks, Amelie quickly brushing her skirt off and standing up. I should be going to bed. Please rest well. We can talk more about it in the morning, right? Right. Good night, Amelie. I'll see you tomorrow. Bum, 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 bum. Lalika, it is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone else around, isn't it? I feel as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I'm sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. The hallway was darkened with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way. Usually that would fill Amelie with a sense of comfort, but right now the flickering flames seemed to make her feel distressed. Whether that was because of the way her mind was racing or the way her heart was beating, she didn't know. As she rose up the grand staircase, her eyes lingered on the large stained glass window. The moon shone through the colored glass, leaving a rainbow of colors over the steps. This is pretty. There's like a lion and a person. Maybe another person. I'm trying to find clues. Yeah, there's people with like palm leaves. Yeah, oh, okay. I caught her attention for only a moment before she retreated to her bedroom. Lalika, may I ask you a question? Certainly. Have you ever heard of a woman loving another woman as a woman would love a man? ... Where did you hear about such a thing? Nowhere in particular, it was just a thought that came into my mind. I think you are overtired because of all the excitement, Amelie. I think it is best you get some rest. Best you get some rest. Yes, all right. Good night, Lalika. Oh my gosh, what would we have done without internet? Good night, Amelie. Good morning, Lalika. I was just on my way to see if Sophia has awakened yet. Amelie. Sophia disappeared during the night. I believe she went to the same place your parents went. Wait. I believe she went to the same place your parents went? Did Lalika murder our parents and trap us in some kind of time warp? Because Amelie seems to think that it's only been it hasn't been that long. That time has passed, that her parents have been gone, like long enough that the plants in the greenhouse wouldn't be dead. Under the greenhouse, right? Right? What? That cannot be right. Don't run, Amelie. Right, Ame? I'm nervous. I think Lalika is a murderer. Sorcerer. Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quickly on the door to the guest bedroom, which fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was disheveled and her luggage was strewn about. This is not true. She wouldn't just leave without saying goodbye. Dearie me, I'm sorry. I told you it was a bad idea for anyone to visit, didn't I? Oh, Lalika, this isn't fair. I thought she said she would. There. Come here. This is giving me Mother Gothel vibes as well. Lalika wrapped her thin arms around the young woman, gently patting her on the back. See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. I won't ever leave you. Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes. We'll be together forever. Achievement unlocked. So side one, Amelie's side, together forever. So this, okay. So we just played through Amelie's side of things. And now we play through, this is creepy. Empty always, empty always. I don't like that. I don't like that. That makes me feel feelings. Upsetting. Sophia's side of things. So we get 1 of Amelie's side, 2 of Sophia's side, and then 3 of Lalika's side. Okay. The rain never seems to cease. Horse in the sky, thunder roars, blah blah blah. Taxi gently rocked at the road, turned to rubble, and the rubble turned to overgrown dirt track. Outside of the window, Sophia could barely see a few feet away through the raging storm. It made her feel uneasy. In her lap, a letter. She read the words again despite knowing them off by heart. Dear Sophia, how glad I am to hear that you are well. I am healthy, although I believe I may have a problem of the heart. It has gotten quite lonely waiting here for my parents to return. I am thankful to have Lalika residing with me, but I still await the day where my family will be reunited. But you say that it is safe enough for you to visit? Truly, I have never even dared to dream of being able to see you in the flesh. If it is true, then I will await you at the address written on the back of this letter. Yours, Amelie. Taxi driver voice. Ready? You sure you have the address right? We're in the middle of nowhere. Sophia stared at the fragile handwritten address that Amelie had left her, had trusted to her. Yes, this is the right way. I'm sure of it. Her heart wouldn't settle. Meeting what could be a stranger in the middle of nowhere on a day like this? Who wouldn't be nervous? Yet there was something else. Eagerness, a thrill, something beyond mere nerves that turned into excitement. She could barely imagine the hand that had penned the letters she had been receiving for years on end, let alone a face. But for some reason, her heart still beat hard when reading the words that the mysterious young lady of 19 from a manor far out in the middle of nowhere wrote to her. Desperate to calm her jitters, she pulled out her phone, looking to send her worried family one last message of reassurance, only to find that it wouldn't switch on. I'm sure it was fully charged. The rain was falling even more heavily now. In the distance, a building sprang into view. It was surrounded by a tall metal fence with an ornate gate firmly shut at the front. Just then, the taxi sputtered and rolled to a stop, smoke rising from the hood. So they're like in a time bubble. It's like a time bubble. What the? I had this serviced a week ago. Is something wrong? Sorry, miss. Looks like we're out of action. It's okay, I think we're nearly there anyway. Pulling the cash from her wallet, she handed over her fare and stepped out of the car. Time bubble. Vampire's time bubble. Vampires inside a time bubble? The rain bucketed down from above, soaking her to the very core. She shivered as she dashed toward the iron gate. Surprisingly, it pushed open with little effort, and not even a creak. Sophia stopped in front of the large wooden door, finally free from the seemingly never-ending downpour. From afar, that door had seemed inviting enough, but now it looked awfully large and imposing. And yet, she raised her fist and knocked anyway. Silence followed. Is this not the right place after all? The doors swung open, this time with a low, menacing groan. On the other side of that doorway was a fair girl with long brown hair and golden eyes. Sophia, forgetting the fact that she was soaking wet, rushed forward and embraced the girl. Amelie! Sophia! Amelie's gentle arms wrapped around Sophia's back in return, and finally all of Sophia's worries melted away. My, you're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella, perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the wind. Behind Sophia, the front door swung shut without any assistance. I didn't even think to bring an umbrella. The forecast said sunny all day. My fault for believing it, I guess. I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? You're just as pretty as I knew you'd be. And you too, but what are you wearing? Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little bit more. No, perhaps it is I that is overdressed. Sophia smiled. Somehow her dress sense seemed to fit her writing style perfectly, old-fashioned, and yet very neat and respectable. Sophia felt a slight heat rise to her cheeks. She really was so refined and elegant. Pardon my manners, my dear friend Lalika is here too. I believe I wrote about her in the past. I remember, I've kept all of your letters safe, don't worry. As you should. Sorry, but is there any chance you have a towel? Of course, my apologies. I would usually have someone here to attend to us, but everyone's been sent home. Only the 3 of us remain. Let me fetch you a towel. Amelie withdrew from the hug. She was a little taller than Sophia, despite both being the same age. Sophia peered up at her from below before she disappeared down a hallway and into another room. This really is a manor. When she told me about her house, I almost didn't believe it. A layer of dust rested against the tabletop, along with a few other items. On the settee, a newspaper sat open. Can I see the newspaper? Look at the newspaper. The settee was a deep emerald green. It looked almost... Settee? I don't know what this word is. It looked almost unused, despite its apparent age. On it rested a newspaper. Open in a few pages, Sophia turned her head to read the headline, but from afar could only read the word leg. She reached across to pick up the newspaper. Behind Sophia, the window began to shake in the wind as her fingertips grazed the surface. It's so windy. She spun around just in time to see the front door fly open and the howling wind filled the entryway. She scrambled to the door and with great effort shut it again. Phew. Amelie? When Sophia spun back around, the newspaper and the items on the table were all gone. Ugh. Let me solve the mystery. Sophia? Oh, Amelie. Please, use this. Thanks. I'll bring an umbrella next time, I promise. Sophia took the towel in her hand. It was soft, but somewhat old. She lightly dried her hair and clothes, but still found herself cold. Then, if you're now dried off, would you care for a tour of the house before afternoon tea? That sounds great. On your right is the pantry, and down that hall is the boiler room, but you shouldn't have any need for those spaces. The two walked side by side, alone in such a big manor. Wait, where's Lalika in all of this? Where is she? Where's Lalika? Amelie is talking about her, but we're not getting any of Lalika's bits. Grumpy says ghost. Time bubble vampire ghost. Amelie, I have a feeling your standards are much higher than mine. I've never been in a house that looks like this. You're on your ass, Amelie. No, is your home not similar? Well, it's a lot smaller. There's no shame in that. You own your own property, yes? Yeah, I recently bought it. With your husband? What? No, of course not. I'm not married. Your father allowed you to buy property on your own? Amelie, you speak just like how you write. I'm so surprised. And you speak quite casually. People usually say that about me. Being here around you makes me want to be more formal. What need of there is formality between friends? I wish you would just ask what you're... Well, but that's the thing. We tried to look at the newspaper, but before we could actually get a good look at it, the door seemingly by itself, the front door that closed easily on its own, flew open and we had to slam it shut. And while we were slamming the door shut, all that stuff disappeared. That's true too. This is the morning room and next door is the dining room. We'll be having afternoon tea in the sitting room here. So many rooms. Upstairs is my bedroom and the master bedroom. I must ask that you don't enter the master bedroom as it belongs to my parents who are currently away. From the landing below, Sophia could see the door to the master bedroom. For some reason, her eyes were glued to it. Ah! Ah! Come inside. Come open the door. We're waiting for you? Oh my god, that music. Dot, 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 dot. Of course, I won't go poking around anyway. Sophia shook her head and time seemed to resume around her. She's not gonna ask about that? Girl. The master bedroom is a portal? Girl. I'm like pulling my blanket up around me. All this walking has made me parched. Shall we take afternoon tea now? Sure, that sounds good. Why don't you have a seat while Lalika and I prepare our food? Oh, I can come help. Defy your fate. Nonsense, you are my guest. It would be remiss for me to allow you to lift a finger. I can defy my fate. She is too chill about all this. What do you guys think? Should I defy my fate? Should I go with her to the kitchen? I'm nervous that if I follow my quote-unquote fate, like we lose in the end, right? We don't get to be with Amelie. Ooh, I'm gonna defy my fate. If you insist, but I'm happy to help anytime. I'm defying. Lottie says defy. Thank you. I will be back soon. Please rest. Amelie? Yes? It's nothing. Take your time. Actually, is it okay if I ask you something? Of course it is. Is there someone else in the house with us? There's no one else apart from myself, you, and Lalika. ... Lalika. And Lalika is... She's just gone into the kitchen. Didn't you see her enter? ... Right. My vision must be playing up. What? Sophia! Just... Is something the matter? No, it's fine. I'll wait for you inside. Oh, so I don't get to go with her into the kitchen, but I defy fate by saying something that wasn't in the original, in the first, like, playthrough. The room was spacious and dead silent, apart from Sophia's footsteps as she crossed the wooden floor. Each step was deliberate and slow as her eyes searched through the room. Nothing in particular stood out. Large windows showed a glimpse of the outside world through thick curtains. The rain was still coming down hard, obscuring her view. The windows shook every now and then, but the wind had seemed to die down a little. ... Behind her, a chair at the dining room table had been pulled out as if it was waiting for her to sit down. Amelie, was that you? Amelie? Her hand rested against her chest, begging her heart to calm down. Or Lalika? Whether a hollow laugh sounded through the room or not, she wasn't sure. She quietly sat down in the seat that was left for her. The table was already set, but once again she noticed a thin layer of dust on the surface. Through the silence, Sophia could hear it again. Footsteps. But this time from directly above. The master bedroom. In front of her very eyes, Sophia watched the scene unfold. Just a reminder, content warning. Content warning, and I'm going to assume that we're about to have that piece about the suicide. So be aware. A woman not older than 40 removed her shoes and stepped onto the table, yet nothing was disturbed. She reached up and took hold of the noose. Okay, I'm not gonna read through it all. We can join me. The woman's eyes locked onto Sophia's. Her hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. A rusty smell filled her nose, accented with the faint smell of perfume. Sophia shivered in response, her breath frosty on her lips. She reached for the hand. Sophia, don't you dare! Why? Sophia! Don't do that! Oh my god. Don't reach for vampire ghost hands. Don't do it. PSA. Public service announcement. You see a creepy ghost lady, don't take her hand. Just don't. I'm back. Sophia, defy my fate. I'm defying my fate all over the place. Oh, Amelie, I'm sorry you scared me. Is everything all right? ... Sophia stared at the spot the woman was only a moment ago. Both she and the had disappeared. Amelie, something is the matter, isn't it? ... Did something happen within this room? Happen? What exactly do you mean? Did a woman with brown hair tied into a bun and a dark green dress ever live here? Well, it sounds to me like you're describing my mother. Your mother? Yeah, she's just as you described, but you couldn't have seen her. She's still away. Right. Let me pour us tea before it gets cold. Will Lalika be joining us? I believe so. Was she here a moment ago? No, she wasn't here. How strange. She told me she was coming to sit with you. Perhaps she gotten herself busy with something else. Lord. Should we wait? There's no need. It would be sad to let the tea go cold. Sophia watched as the tea filled 2 out of 3 of the cups. The 3rd cup sat empty. For some reason, the very sight filled her with dread. For some reason. Girl. She picked up the cup and brought it to her lips. It was green tea. The taste was bitter and musty. With her heart on edge, she placed the cup back down on the— oh, she didn't like my tea! Darn it. She placed the cup back down on the saucer, smiling towards Amelie. Did you have much trouble getting here? A little. My ride broke down, so I had to walk for a bit. But it's also like, Sophia is like, it feels like purposely saying things that are like out of the like time context, right? She doesn't say my taxi broke down. She also doesn't walk inside, hug Amelie and say, oh my god, my phone died, do you have a charger? Which is what any sane 19-year-old would do, I feel. Just saying. Broke down. I'm extremely sorry. If the staff had been here, I would have sent someone to collect you. It's okay, it's just a little rain. I just wouldn't want you catching a fever. My medicine store has been running low of late. No worries, I usually carry ibuprofen with me. Ibuprofen? I haven't heard of it. Anyway, I'm glad you arrived here safely. I'll draw a bath for you later to make sure you are warmed up properly. Thank you. Amelie sipped at her tea before looking down at it with a confused expression. A little stale. I'll ask my father to procure a new batch when he arrives home. Where are your parents, by the way? Well, we were separated due to the plague. They took the staff to wait until a cure is found and left me here with Alika as to not catch the disease. Right, I understand. I spent a lot of time separated from my family due to the pandemic, too. I mean, is this just like, she's 19. She's got like a crush on this girl that she's been writing with for years. Is she just in denial? Cause like, it warms my heart to find another thing in common with you, Sophia. I was surprised to hear that it's safe enough for you to visit. Perhaps that means my parents will be back soon too. I think so. The world seems to be opening back up again. So what do you do, locked up in this big house all the time? Well, I usually spend my time sewing or playing music. I used to write, but... Well, my parents wondered if it was feminine enough. I'm still gonna make that noise for that one. I don't really think that matters. If you enjoy it, then I say you should do it. Sophia, then what about you? Well, I'm studying art at university right now, so I guess that's what I spend most of my time on. You attend university? Yeah, although I'm thinking about dropping out. Sophia, you are truly filled with surprises. You own your own land and you attend school. How jealous I am. Why don't you do the same? Oh no, I'm not allowed. Of course you are. Anyone can attend within reason. But, well, wouldn't it get in the way of my marriage? You're engaged? Amelie shook her head. No, not yet, but I'm already 19. I'm sure my father has prepared my dowry. An arranged marriage? Yes, naturally. I don't think I'll ever get married. Really? Doesn't your family object? I don't think they really mind as long as I'm happy. You don't have to either, you know. You've given me much to think about, much indeed. Now, I wonder where Lalika has disappeared to. Well, it's no matter. The evening is already coming and soon it will be dark. Shall I draw you a bath? That sounds wonderful. To be honest, I'm not hungry, so can we skip dinner tonight? Of course, if that's what you wish, let me show you to the bathroom. Before she left the room, Sophia took one last look back at where that once hung. What I don't understand is why she hasn't left. Like, why is she still here? You may not believe it, my father has taps installed. Isn't that wonderful? Like taps for a bath? That's right, we used to have our maids fill the bath, but now there's no need. ... Amelie, you're so strange. I have taps at my house too. Like, girl, truly, you must live quite the lavish lifestyle. I don't know about that. This is the bathroom. Allow me to draw the bath for you. One moment. Alone in the hallway, Sophia peered back up at the grand staircase, past the large stained glass window, and at that door, that dark door shut tight. A moment later, Amelie popped back out of the bathroom. Feel free to go inside and make yourself comfortable. I will return with a towel in a moment. Thanks, Amelie. Water spewed from the rusted pipes into the steel-lined wooden bathtub. Everything else was silent. Sophia took careful steps towards and peered into the bath. All seemed normal. With a sigh, she finally let her shoulders relax, yet in her mind, all she could see was that woman with her outstretched hand reaching towards her. She clutched her hand to her chest. It still shook. Sophia stumbled forward until her hands rested on either side of the washroom basin. Her fingers held on tight until her knuckles were bone white. It's okay, Sophia, you're just tired. Her eyes traveled up to the mirror. It was embellished with a golden frame. She stared at her reflection. She was still herself. It was all a figment of her imagination. ... That music scared me. That's when she saw it. In the mirror, standing behind her, was a young woman with long, blonde hair that nearly reached down to the floor and deep, blood-red eyes. She didn't try to speak or make any movement. She just stared with her big, dark eyes. Who? Sophia wanted to spin around to confront the girl, but her whole body was frozen stiff. The young woman finally started to move. One step at a time, maintaining eye contact through the mirror, she crept closer. Closer and closer until Sophia swore she could feel her breath on the back of her neck. Her mouth seemed to be moving, but no words escaped her lips. Who are you? She spun around, but no one was there. That's not my reaction. No, that would not be my reaction. My reaction would be like, I'm out of here. Come with me, Amelie. I can't even say her name at the moment. Amelie, if you want to, come with me, but we're getting out of here right now. The water overflowed from the tub, spilling out over the floor. Sophia rushed toward to turn off the tap and noticed it. The water that came from the tap was red. Why? Why is the water red? Why? Why? Grumpy says Russ cursed, yes. A dark, deep red. She hurriedly turned the tap for what felt like forever, and finally it stopped. Sophia stared at the dark liquid inside the tub. The rust inside the tub. Without thought, her hand dipped in. When she withdrew it, each finger was dyed red. Why? But why, Sophia? Something about it captivated her. She undressed one layer at a time, peeling away the still damp clothing, and stepped forward and into the bathtub. No! Girl! She sank down until everything under her shoulders was submerged in the liquid. It felt heavier than water, much heavier. No! As she stared directly ahead, those blood-red eyes reflected in her mind. Why not just end it here? You're scared, aren't you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it. She could no longer hear the sound of the door opening as her face sunk down into the liquid, her eyes shut. Sophia, I knocked, but I didn't hear your reply. I brought you a towel. Ah! Oh my god. Sophia! Right? Oh, hell to the noun. Lottie. I agree. Just, oh, sorry. I'm hitting my microphone. That's how upset I am about it. Sophia's eyes sprung open. The water was clear and the tap was still running, causing it to overflow onto the floor once again. Yes, thank you, Grumpy, for reminding us about the content warning. ... Sophia drew her knees to her chest, still facing away from Amelie's voice. Heat rose to her cheeks. Being seen like this, by her. Oh, Sophia, please forgive me. I didn't realize you had already entered the bath. No, it's okay. I'm sorry, you just surprised me. I'll leave the towel over here. Thanks. The door shut again. Sophia finally turned back to look at where Amelie once stood. No one was there anymore. Not Amelie, not a woman in a long green dress, or a young lady with blonde hair. She sighed. What's going on? She sank into the water, although this time fully conscious of what she was doing. Not feeling all that much better, she stepped out and took hold of the towel that Amelie had left for her. Water fell from her body as she stared at the cloth. The towel was blue, similar to her hair. ... The towel was old and full of holes and what seemed to be burn marks. I just can't win with the few choices that I had for Amelie. Reluctantly, she wrapped it around her body. From outside the door, Amelie's voice called out to her. Let me come help, Sophia, when you're... Oh, sorry. Let me come help. Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come to your room. Okay, thanks, Amelie. Who is she helping? Lilika? She shivered. The room had become awfully cold, and the towel did little to bring her warmth. She picked up her discarded clothes and redressed. Her clothes felt foreign and wrong on her. Sophia took a deep breath, then swallowed hard. I'm okay. The hall was already darkened, with no light spilling in from the windows. A few sconces attached to the walls were lit with live flames, but it offered little in the way of calming her. Step, step, step. The floor creaked under her weight. She stopped outside of her bedroom. Inside, she could hear talking. She put her ear to the door. ... Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave the house. It's Amelie's voice! That's Amelie's voice. It says Amelie is saying this. But this is what Lilika says to her. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it's only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe. You know this. What's gotten into you? Is it because of your friend? ... I just thought it would be nice to at least sit in the sun. Then you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Is it really so unsafe that even taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Yes. Sophia opened the door and entered the room. Amelie stood by herself making the bed. Sophia, I see you're done with the bath. Sophia looked away, thinking of what had happened in that bathroom. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes, did you see it when you arrived? I did, but it looked as if the plants inside had died. Oh, that's impossible. It's barely been any time at all since the gardeners left. I'm sure the plants inside are more sturdy than that. Well, even if they have died, maybe we could go in and replant some things tomorrow. How wonderful. Have you not heard a word I said? It is unsafe to do so. Oh my god, could you imagine? Oh. Sophia, why are you still there? Oh, don't be such a spoil sport. I think it would be perfectly fine. ... Well, it's getting late now, so I'll leave you to retire. If you need anything, my room is just upstairs on the left. Good night, Sophia. The door shifted before Amelie could even reach to touch it. Sophia locked in on the movement. So the door does shift and move before Amelie even touches it. Amelie, would you stay for a while? Is something the matter? Just a little homesick. Sophia sat down on the bed before resting her head on the pillow. It was hard. Of course. Why don't we chat for a while? Then come join me. Sophia gently pet the spot beside her in the bed. In the bed? Okay. Sophia looked toward Amelie in the low light. Right now, she seemed hauntingly beautiful, as if she were nothing more than a ghost. Sophia. Sophia! I feel like, how do you not know this? Thanks for staying with me for a while. It's nothing to worry about, truly. I want to spend more time with you too. Really? You don't find me boring? You are the most interesting person I've ever met. Don't be silly. I am being completely honest. You are truly so unique. ... I think the same about you. I've never met anyone like you. Really. Her mind flashed back to all she had seen. Really, she truly had never met anyone like Amelie. You wrote so much about yourself, and yet seeing you in person, I fear there is still so much I don't know. There's plenty of time for us to tell each other everything. Then tell me something about yourself, something you've never told anyone. I'm partially blind in my right eye. Really? How well can you see? I know all the red flags. It's okay, just a little blurry, really. You tell me something. Tell me something, she thought. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me I'm not insane. So I guess like maybe it's, I like enough horror films. I like enough like spooky things that like if I was in the situation, I feel like I would have clocked it and I would have left and I would have gone and gotten Ame and Lottie and Albie and Marlo and we would come back with our spirit box and all of our Phasmo stuff together and figure it out Phasmo style. But like, I wouldn't stay there. Oh my goodness. When I was 12, I stole the cookie jar from the kitchen, blamed my brother. He was scolded. That's so funny. It was his idea. What a good brother. Where is he now? He's dead. That's sad. He has scarlet fever. And I'm just a female heir. And I'm, you know, Sophia tells her that she's worth plenty. And they have this sort of bonding time together. And then Sophia says, I said before I didn't want to get married, but that's not exactly right. I do. I just don't want a husband. ... Then. So we kind of have this like whole, yeah, professional ghost hunters. Exactly, Lottie. Like, that's what you do. You don't stay in these situations. You don't think that it's you that's crazy first. You leave, separate yourself, go get your ghost hunting friends, and come back together and decide if you're all insane or if there is a time bubble vampire ghost that you're dealing with. Okay, so we have our whole like coming out thing again, where Amelie also kind of comes out and says like, you know, I don't know, that's a thing. You know, it's that moment of realizing like, wait, you don't have to live into the hetero life like and be forced into it if that's not what fits for you. Really? And Sophia invites her to run away together. And what about the sickness? And Grumpy will say down with the sickness at some point in the chat. And so it's okay now. You'll be okay. You can come stay at my house. You don't have to go through an arranged marriage. You would do that for me. You're my dearest friend. And I actually, and then here's the banging on the door from Ghost Lalika. Defy my fate. Lalika? At some point, the two women had gotten close enough together that they could feel each other's breaths on their lip. The two parted with reddened cheeks, Amelie quickly brushing her skirt off and standing up. I should be going to bed. Please rest well. We can talk more about it in the morning, right? Right. Good night, Amelie. I'll see you tomorrow. Amelie, wait a moment. Yes? ... Are we gonna kiss? Kiss, 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 kiss. Kiss, 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 kiss. Now kiss. If you're gonna get murdered by ghosts, you might as well get to kiss the cute ghost girl, right? Maybe? What does little... You gotta pick a lane here, Sophia. If you're gonna defy stuff, like, why is it all investigatory? Like, what does Lalika look like? What a funny question. You've seen her plenty of times already. Yeah, be gay. Yes, yes. Kiss the ghost. ... With my eye, I sometimes struggle a little bit. Smart. Right, my apologies. She has long blonde hair done up like this. Amelie pretended to put her hair into 2 low ponytails. What color are her eyes? Red. Like, that's a totally normal thing. And she wears a dress of white and black with a red ribbon the same color as her eyes. ... Thank you, Amelie. Good night. I'm ready for more gay content. I'm gonna get murdered by scary vampire ghost girl. At least let it be gay. See you in the morning. Amelie left the room. Meanwhile, Sophia's eyes studied the space. Defy my fate. Are you here, Lalika? Silence followed. If I stay here, will I live to see tomorrow? More silence. Right? Oh, thanks, Demi. She gulped. The flame by the side of her bed flickered wildly. Sophia laid back, shutting her eyes, but she felt as if someone was watching her, waiting. Thanks, Grumpy. Waiting and biding their time. Cold tendrils wrapped around her throat like a snake, cool like ice and getting tighter and tighter. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't even move. She opened her eyes, but no one was there. Sophia wasted no more time. She jumped to her feet and quickly shoved them back into her shoes and headed for the door. It opened without any resistance. Outside the room, the hallway was dark, lit only by a handful of candles and sconces. Sophia swallowed, then stepped out. The house was silent. Sophia took careful steps, but the floorboards still squeaked loudly beneath her. During the day, she hadn't even noticed it, but now, wrapped in darkness, it seemed as if those small sounds would wake whatever was sleeping inside this house. Amelie? Lalika? She whispered it, but heard no response. Upon being met with only more silence, her footsteps sped up. Far in the distance, she heard something shift, a slight sound, one that wouldn't normally be noticed. But for Sophia, it was enough to make her heart race. She sped to the end of the hall and stood at the bottom of the grand staircase. Above, her eyes honed in on 2 doors in particular. The master bedroom and the door to Amelie's room. Amelie. The choice was obvious. Sophia raced up the stairs and stood in front of the door to her pen pal's room. But as she went to knock, the door fell open. Amelie, are you in here? She received no reply. Sophia's head spun around. From somewhere deep in the dark, a gentle tune was being played skillfully. Her arms dropped to her side. The sound consumed her. Ooh, everything's blurry. Sophia drifted back out of Amelie's bedroom, chasing that dreamy song. Step, step, step. Through the darkness, all that mattered was that sound. She came to the end of the hallway. A single door stood in her way. A bookcase was pushed to the side. Without a second thought, she pulled it open. In the center of the room, surrounded by candles, Amelie sat. Her skirt fanned out around her. Spread out over the floor were piles of letters. Upon closer inspection, each was filled with words that had been crossed out and signed with "Yours, Marion." Amelie? Amelie, are you awake? Her eyes were shut tight, yet her hands moved enough to play the sorrowful tune. Please, listen to me, Amelie. Lalika she isn't... I'm not what? ... You're going to leave her, aren't you? Sophia heard the door shut behind her. She backed up quickly and tried the handle, but it was stuck. Amelie's eyes finally opened. In place of her usual golden eyes was a glare of deep red. Amelie, snap out of it! Please snap out of it! You want to take her away? Amelie, please! One by one, the candles blew out, and the 2 were plunged into darkness. Amelie's body slumped forward and crashed to the ground. It's nice to meet you, Sophia. I'm sure we're going to have a fun time living together. Since you will be staying with us after all, right? Eee! 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 Eep, beep, 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 beep. Eep. Oh my goodness, it's so creepy. It's so creepy. Okay. Bratty. Continue? And it's like, oh, but empty always, empty always, empty. This is giving me very much Doki Doki Literature Club vibes. If you ever played that or watched other people play that. Similar trigger warnings, but it's definitely giving me that vibe. You don't want to hear her side? Well, we still have one more Sophia side. We have one more Sophia side, and then it's creepy Lalika's side. You want to play that, Lottie? I've watched people play all the way through it, so I feel like I don't know if I want to play through it, but okay. It rains, so we're starting again from the taxi. In the taxi, we have all the stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've already done this bit. So we go, it's the right address, but it's in a weird vampire time bubble ghost thing, so everything's gonna stop working technology-wise. And we're super excited because we have a big old crush on her. And we're very excited to meet her. It said Sophia 2 out of 2. Right, we're on Sophia side 2 of 2. Right? I think so. Because we did Amelie 1 out of 1, and then Sophia 1 out of 2. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, taxi is out of commission again. Oh, I suppose I can start hitting skip. Okay. I guess let's try looking at the tabletop since we couldn't see the newspaper anyway. The window starts to shake in the wind. At the end? Oh. Well, no, because that's what it did for the end of Amelie's. It was like next side is Sophia 1 out of 2. And so it's like telling you to like flip over like a cassette is how I'm reading it, maybe? We'll find out. Okay, so all that stuff is gone again. And then we go through all of this stuff. We are going to... So we defied our fate that last time. I think I just like to defy my fate. I like to defy my fate. And so we're not able to help her, but we do get to ask about there being somebody else in the house. Love it if Sophia would just figure this out. Go get your ghost hunting friends. Okay. And then we're in this whole shenanigans. And all we did was ask more questions. So I think I'm just going to stick with our original Feely Bot. Hi, Grumpy. Because we know that it's her mom, but maybe we don't want Lalika to be like on to us. I don't know. Okay, skipping through. And we're in the blood. And now we're back to the bed. And it's all very creepy. And I think I'm not going to defy my fate here because we don't get to kiss her anyway. And so I will defy my fate like Oh, see, now we only have the option to accept our fate. For some reason, Sophia just couldn't sit still. She tried to lay down to rest, but turned this way and that uneasy. I'll get some water. The hallway was dark, with most of the sconces having been blown out already. The kitchen was by the stairwell. Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall. She stared up the grand staircase. Each step was inviting, enticing her to make the ascent. Her large eyes stared once again at the imposing stained glass window and then to the doors that awaited upstairs. Her hand rested against the kitchen door, her fingers dancing over the handle. It stayed there as her mind debated with itself. Waiting. Waiting. Come here. Come visit us. Her hand dropped to her side as she ascended past the glass window and to the next floor. 2 doors awaited her. A chill ran through the air as a scene played out before her. 2 women dragged a man's body up the staircase, leaving a trail of blood on the otherwise pristine carpet. They pushed open one of the doors. The man's head hit the final step, but he made no move to stop them, nor cried out in pain. He was already long dead. The figures disappeared into the room. When Sophia blinked, the door was shut again. She trembled. The master bedroom. From behind that closed door, a voice called out to her, but the words were much too faint to make out. Her hand rested against the handle. Sophia couldn't stop it from shaking. With a careful motion, she pushed the door open. I thought you just wanted some water. A musty smell came from further inside the dark room. Sophia, peering into the darkness, quickly took hold of one of the lit candles near the room and stepped inside. A portrait sat above a large canopied bed. The curtains were pulled back, hiding whatever was inside. In the portrait, Amelie sat beside a woman with a green dress and brown hair done up into a bun. Standing beside them was a man with an imposing brow and a large beard. ... A family of mice ran from under the bed and out of the room. Sophia jumped to the side, narrowly avoiding them. Step, step, step. Each step brought her closer to that bed. Each step made her chest feel heavier, tighter. He stood before the bed and reached a trembling hand to the curtains that hid whatever lay inside. Are we gonna predict it's a body? Let's do a prediction. Prediction. What's in the bed? Skeletons? Skeletons or... well, okay, I guess the question, so I agree. I think it's gonna be skeletons. Whose skeletons? Well, okay, skeletons or creepy Amelie slash Lolika. Why can't I spell her name? Lolika. Okay, we'll do dead bodies slash skeletons slash mummies. Oh, that's too long. Too many characters. Lilika. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I will try that. Okay, well, I'm gonna spell it wrong, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. I think it's like that. Okay. Start prediction. Prediction is up. I am nervous. What's in the bead? What is in the bed? What is in the bed? You think it will be nothing? Well, Grumpy, that's not an option. You get 2 options. If you want to earn those channel points to make us do more goat booty dancing. We'll also add some stars. And I do believe that you can Let's see. Stars. Ooh, it's close. 420. Oh, 430 to 320. What's in the bed? Okay. I want to see prediction stuff right here. Jump. 57% think it's gonna be dead bodies, skeletons, mummy. So, time bubble, vampire, ghost, mummy. Or creepy Amelie Lalika. Thank you for that, Ame. A wind blew from somewhere unseen and her candle extinguished behind her. The door shut and the room plunged into near complete darkness. Oh my god, are we not gonna know? Amelie, is that you? I'm sorry I came in here after you asked me not to. I'll just go now, okay? Her body fell forward before she had a moment to react. She tumbled through the curtains and landed on something hard that rested on the bed. What? The curtains flew open and the moon shone in from outside. It's skeletons! Ah! Creepy, creepy. Oh, I want that skeleton song from Halloween. Creepy, spooky skeleton. Dead body skeletons? Complete prediction. Ah! The body she was expecting to find was absent. In its place, 2 skeletons, long ago decayed. They laid side by side, one smaller and the other larger. But now, one was either side of her. Her scream pierced through the air, but no one came running. She tried desperately to squirm to run, but it felt as if something was sitting on her, holding her down. You won a lot! Yay, Lottie! As she struggled, she saw it. 2 dark red eyes hanging above her, watching. You won't take her away from me. We got the She's Mine achievement unlocked. Bum bum bum. Side 1 of 2, she's mine. Okay, so we've now gotten both of Sophia's sides. So I see. So basically it's telling us there's a certain number of sides available. So there's only one from Amelie, but there's 2 different endings that Sophia can get. And so those are the 2 Sophia endings. And then there are 3 empty always, that Lalika has. I wonder if there's an ending where we can make Lalika like not be scary ghost and just like let everybody be gay and happy. What if they just become a polycule? We went choice 2 first. Yes. Okay. I am gonna, because I think that we can actually play through the whole game tonight because it's pretty short. It was very inexpensive, especially being on sale when I got it. So it's not surprising. I'm having way too much fun with this. I'm super excited. It's so creepy and so good. I do need to pee, and I do think I would like to get myself a beverage since we're sort of in totes after dark time. You would be so jealous if they get a polycule. You'd be jealous because, like, you would want to be in the ghost polycule, Lottie? I'm sure they'd invite you in. Lalika seems very understanding. But yes, I am going to, yeah, go have a pee. I'm gonna go have a pee and also grab a beverage. If you would need to go grab a beverage, yes. I'm sure they'll invite you in. If you need to go grab a beverage. How utterly preposterous. What on earth are the physicians doing? The lady next to him coughed into her... Thanks, Grumpy. Do you have a date?
Roughly 14 to 15.
Okay, Google it. The lady next to him coughed into her handkerchief. When she pulled it away from her mouth, it was stained red with blood.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Thanks, Google. I'm sure they're trying their best, my dear. Their best is going to kill everyone. Forget this rubbish. Amelie is still well and finally of age to marry. We will arrange for a suitor before she becomes sick. If we send her out there, then she will certainly grow sick. She should stay here, locked in her room until it is safe to leave. No man will want a woman who has spent her only good years locked in her bedroom. Okay, Lord Guy. But she will be safe. You have storm number whatever. The wind is howling, so I doubt we'll be getting much sleep soon. Oh no, I hate the storms. That's no good. We've been having off and on rain today. It's been wild weather, for sure. Ooh. The lady held her cheek, which quickly reddened after the impact. I hate the Lord. I hate this guy. He is the worst. The Lord glared at her behind his bushy eyebrows. I don't care how good his eyebrows are. You would do well to remember who she belongs to, who you belong to. And that's a good reminder for our content warning for today. Oh, thank you for contributing to Jackbox Game Night. You were only off by, you said 1400s, Grumpy. 1665. ... The lady blinked, trying desperately to stop her eyes from welling up. Lilika, please come here. Her voice carried through the otherwise empty home. Time seemed to pause for a few moments before a woman with blonde hair cascading behind her entered the room. She wore the dress of a maidservant and a neutral expression that wavered just so after seeing the mark left by the Lord's hand. She stepped forward, crossed the tiled floor with slow steps that seemed to match the pace of the thunder that roared outside. The lady nodded to the maid nodded back to the lady. The moon reflected from the metal object in the maid's hand as she swung it down into the Lord's throat. Okay, Lilika redemption arc? Maid who helps murder the abusive lord of the house to save the lady and lady's daughter? He let out a gargled scream. Blood splattered out from his mouth, and as he tried to speak, tried to yell, but it was too late. Good. He fell onto the floor, and the tiles darkened into a crimson red. He squirmed and crawled, searching for something that no one would ever know before he fell still only a few minutes later. The lady stared at the scene, her heart raced, and a laugh escaped her lips. Finally. It's your birthday soon! Oh my gosh, what day is your birthday? Patty Totes' birthday is the end of next month. Oh. You'll never hurt Amelie. I hope you rot in heck. The maid wiped the knife against a small white hand towel. The stains would never be fully removed. My lady, I will deal with the body. I will help you. He is too much for you to carry alone. But my lady, you are sick. March 3rd. Oh, that is coming up. And I will get no better sitting here. The two grabbed him by the arm each and dragged him toward the stairwell, leaving a trail of blood in their wake. So Sophia saw a little bit of this in her vision. No other words passed from their lips as they executed their task. They reached the end of the hall and began the ascent to the first floor. The Lord's head hit against each step with a soft thunk. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The house was silent in all other regards. Two doors sat next to each other. Both were shut tight. As the two women reached the top of the stairwell, the maid pushed open the door to the master bedroom and entered. The room was spacious and clean, with fresh bedding left by the maid just the same morning. On the wall above the bed, a newly painted family picture. The two struggled and finally lifted the man into the bed. His face was struck in a terrified expression. Oh, well, Tiny Kitten's inside the house, and since my area's out in the garage now, we don't see her as often, but she was on stream with us on Thursday, or 2 Thursdays ago. And so, but she's getting very big. I know, I have to post some pictures. His face was stuck in a terrified expression, and his clothes were ruined. You will protect Amelie, right? I'll do anything you desire. Then let us begin. Lightning struck somewhere in the distance, lighting up the otherwise darkened room and showing many things that should have been left unseen. The maid removed her shoes and crawled into the sheets beside the corpse while the lady dipped her fingers into the— oh my god. Oh my god! Drew a line of blood around the bed. She spoke softly to no one in particular, chanting words that should never be chanted. Curse? So, time, bubble, ghost, vampire curse. Ritual? Yeah? When she was done, she stepped over the threshold and approached the maid. Never let anyone hurt her. Protect her no matter what. I will, my lady. Thank you, Lalika. You'll never truly understand how much your actions mean to me. The lady leant forward and left a soft kiss against the maid's lips. It was brief and gentle, and something the two had wished to share for longer than either would admit. Everybody's gay. I appreciate that. As the lady pulled away, the maid drew her knife, still smudged with blood, and brought it to her veins. Goodbye, Lalika. Goodbye, my lady. Ah! The maid bled out slowly, painfully slowly. The lady gasped for air and clawed at her neck. Oh my god, everything became still. Everything apart from a young lady named Amelie, who sat in her bed upright, feeling a deep dread in the pit of her stomach, and another young lady named Lalika, who stood over two corpses lying beside each other in bed. Oh my goodness. The young lady named Lalika stared at the maid in the bed. Her own face. Her own blood. And yet here she stood. She looked at herself in the mirror and saw a different person entirely. She was no longer the maid. She was Lalika. Her voice was softer, her hair longer. It worked. When she turned back towards the bed, Lalika froze. Both of the bodies were gone, and in their places, two skeletons. How long has it been? She walked towards the door and found it locked. Digging through the tattered clothes of the long-dead maid, she retrieved the key and opened it. The door beside the master bedroom sat ajar just enough for Lalika to peer in. Amelie sat on the end of her bed, staring at herself in a small handheld mirror while brushing her hair. She hummed a quiet tune, but froze as her eyes met Lalika's. Who are you? ... I am Lalika. Lalika, but your mother told me that you had a maid named Lalika. What a coincidence. What are you doing here? How long has your mother been gone? My mother, I saw her... She frowned and clutched her head as if she couldn't quite remember. I saw her just this morning. I see. Your parents have left to be cured of the plague. They have asked me to stay here with you until they can return. Really? A cure truly exists? That's right. So until then, how about we be friends? Amelie's face lit up and their eternal friendship began. How many years had passed since that day? Neither could tell. Time seemed to stand still within that manor, out in a field in the middle of nowhere. And that's the way Lalika wished it to stay. Lalika, a letter has arrived. What? Her blood ran cold as Amelie stared at the envelope in her hands. When was the last time we had a letter? How exciting! Perhaps it's Mother writing that she will return soon. Perhaps so. Oh. Oh? It seems to be addressed to someone else entirely. Perhaps it was brought here by mistake. Then we had best send it back. Give it to me and I will have it returned. ... A peek wouldn't hurt, don't you think? It's illegal. Ooh, there's cracks. Lalika watched as the first crack formed in her fragile world. I will dispose of it immediately. Give it to me. Bug. There's a bug. But it was too late. The letter inside had already been let loose, and Amelie's eyes had already taken in the words left for someone else. Sophia. Lalika, I think I will write back. I will let her know that I received the letter by mistake. That isn't needed. Please? ... Just one letter. Thank you, Lalika. How many letters had arrived at their doors since then? How many times had Amelie spoken excitedly about Sophia to her? Sophia. Sophia, Sophia, Sophia. It's always Sophia. Sophia is the crack in this fragile reality. Sophia. I have to get rid of Sophia. Lalika? Lalika's eyes opened with a jolt. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. What did you say? Sophia says she's coming to visit. ... Cracks everywhere. Another crack formed from the last. It sprawled across reality, threatening to shatter at any moment. Amelie, I don't think that's a good idea. The plague. She says that it's safe enough to travel now in her letter. Perhaps Mother and Father will return soon, too. Lalika forced a smile. But we don't need anyone else here. We have each other. Of course, you are my dear friend, Lalika, but Sophia and I have been writing to each other for... She shook her head as if chasing off the beginnings of a headache. For a long time, anyway. I am excited to finally meet her. Won't you be excited with me, too? We can all be friends. Right. Friends. I'm sure we'll all be the best of friends. Oh, and yes, sorry, Eve. Her name is Tiny Kitten, then. Yes. For an amount of time that neither Lalika nor Amelie could truly comprehend, the house was suddenly buzzing with life. Amelie's footsteps were light and her days filled with excitement as she awaited the arrival of Sophia. And finally, to Lalika's dismay, the day came. The pendulum clock on the wall swung back and forth, ticking down the time. Lalika stared at it, wishing that it would slow down even further. 10 minutes, then 20, then an hour passed as the two stood by the door waiting for a knock. She seems to be late. Perhaps she is not coming after all, Amelie. There is no need to make such a sullen face. Mayhaps, this is for the best. ... She wrote that she would be here, so I shall wait. With her face hidden from Amelie, Lalika scowled. Do you truly believe it's safe to have visitors during the outbreak? Lalika, I believe we have been isolated long enough, and Sophia has written that it is safe. I trust her word. She would not endanger us. And if your pen pal turns out to be a robber in disguise, what then? Amelie smiled to Lalika's dismay. She has a way with words that only a woman could have. A lady robber, then. Nonsense. By the way, Lalika, have you seen my letters? I can't say that I have. A knock sounded at the door, instantly halting their conversation. Amelie rose from her place and took a steady step forward before Lalika raised a hand to her. Allow me. Allow me to see if she should truly be allowed entry. The door groaned as it slowly swung open and revealed the young woman who knocked at the door. She was drenched from head to toe. Lalika stared at her, light hair and eyes. She looked almost like a kitten. Instantly, Lalika's dislike for the woman grew. Lalika stepped to the side just in time for Sophia to bounce through the door and wrap her arms around Amelie. Her blood boiled. She watched as the clothes she had carefully handmade became drenched by someone unworthy, someone that didn't deserve to even look at Amelie. Amelie! Sophia! Amelie's arms wrapped around Sophia in return, and Lalika turned away. My, you're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella, perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the wind. With a cool anger written over her features, Lalika shut the door. I didn't even think to bring an umbrella. The forecast said sunny all day. My fault for believing it, I guess. I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? You're just as pretty as I knew you'd be. ... And you too, but what are you wearing? Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little bit more. No, perhaps it is I that overdressed. Okay, this is all the same. Lalika stood to the side, her arms crossed slightly over her chest. Her long hair reached down nearly to the wooden floor. And then we get the introduction, and Lalika says, as you should. Amelie side-eyed Lalika upon hearing her tone, but Lalika simply looked away. And then we ask for a towel, and Amelie goes to get one. Amelie disappeared down the hallway, leaving Lalika alone with Sophia. This really is a manor. When she told me about her house, I almost didn't believe it. Has no one told you it is rude to poke around someone else's house? Sophia walked straight past Lalika without even a notion of responding. Hello? You can't see me. Sophia ran her finger along the edge of the tabletop before reaching to pick up a book that rested there. Don't let her touch it. Don't let her touch anything. Oh. She'll break it all. She'll undo everything. She wants to hurt Amelie. She can't find out the truth. The window shook loudly in the wind. With the flick of her small wrist, Lalika allowed the door to fly open, causing Sophia to whip around in surprise. It's so windy. Lilia locked in on the object that Sophia had been reaching for. She rushed forward and took hold of it, then quickly hid it behind a cabinet as Sophia reached to close the door. Phew. Amelie? Sophia spun around but looked straight through Lalika. Sophia! Oh, Amelie! Please, use this. Thanks, I'll bring an umbrella next time, I promise. Lalika watched as Sophia dried herself with the towel. Our towel. It's not for her. There can't be a next time. And then they go do the tour. That sounds great, blah, blah, blah. Sophia and Amelie walk side by side, close enough that their shoulders almost touched. Lalika stared at the place where they almost connected, seething with a quiet rage. And then more things about what's going on around, and they're like looking at all the standards and stuff and talking about homes. We've seen this bit. We talk about like, oh, we don't have husbands. Shut up. Your father allowed you to buy property on your own? Oh my gosh, you speak just like how you write. Your voice disgusts me. Oh my gosh, Lalika is cracking me up. Oh, and you speak quite casually. People usually say that about me. Being here around you makes me want to be more formal. What needs is there a formality between friends? That's true too. Your words are poisoning Amelie. This is the morning room, and next door, the dining room. We'll be having afternoon tea here. So many rooms, so many rooms. Don't go poking around. Lies, you're lying. All this walking has made me parched. Shall we take our tea now? Let's do it. Let's go and prepare the stuff. And, Sophia insists, but we say no. And Sophia asks, nothing. Sophia slipped through a doorway and disappeared. Amelie smiled widely while Lalika just stared ahead blankly. Isn't this lovely, Lalika, to have a new face in the house? It feels like forever. Yes, how lovely. I'm glad you are having fun, at the very least. Are you not? ... Sever her fate. I'm always having fun. So there's defy your fate. Sever her. So, okay, this is the first playthrough for Lalika, so I guess we should just do her playthrough and then mess with things. Tracy! Oh, Tracy, I totally get that, for sure. Welcome in.
Tracini just resubscribed for 4 months. Hey Coates. I've been meaning to keep in touch. Well, my ADHD brain has good intentions.
Thank you, Tracy, so much for the 4 months. Amazing. And also, yeah, ADHD brain, like, I totally get that. So never ever feel bad about not being able to keep in touch as much as you want. I get it. I understand. I'm here when your brain gives you the little reminders to say, oh, let's go say hi. And so, thank you. I hope you're doing well. And the normal, yeah. So we're playing through this very spooky game, and we're on the last, we're on the spooky ghost maid girls storyline. I'm not gonna do anything for this one. We're just gonna play through it, and then we're going to sever fates. So my guess is that severing Sophia's fate is like defying fate on Sophia's side. Did you finish the baking yesterday? Yep, pastry. Okay, so I want to get to the part after she leaves the room because we don't know what she does in that time. Okay, blah, blah, blah. They talk about doing, I don't know, lady stuff. And Lalika smiled that moment, seemed to hide behind it an intent much deeper than Amelie realized. The walls had eyes. Ew! Eyes that tracked Lalika's every move. They followed her as she made careful, deliberate steps towards the sitting room. They stared, their eyes bulging, judging. They had no mouths in which to scream, but Lalika could still hear their words. We all sacrificed ourselves for you. Hope, Our only hope. Amelie, protect Amelie. Prove your worth. Prove your love. Amelie, Amelie, Amelie. Under her feet, shattered glass pierced through her shoes, cutting her feet. Why? She could feel the, ew. It was, ew. Comforting, why? She looked to find where the glass had come from. Then she noticed the cracks once again. Along every wall, every floorboard, even through the air. The world was fragmented. It was already broken. Not beyond repair, it's not. My lady, I will fix this still. You can rest, please rest. I will take care of everything. Right, Lottie? Anything and everything for you. She blinked. The world reverted to the way it should. The glass that lined the floor, gone. The eyes that followed from the walls, gone. Good. And the cracks that had begun to wrap themselves around Lalika's ankles had disappeared too. She stood in front of the sitting room's door, which sat slightly ajar. Inside, Lalika could see Sophia staring out of the large window. My question too is, like, when did Amelie die? Because she must be a ghost as well, or like a cursed spirit or something. Her back stayed turned as Lalika entered the room. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible for Sophia to turn and look at her, but Lalika still found herself taking careful, quiet steps. The window shook past the dark, thick curtains. You who would attempt to defy your fate, why don't we see how long this little game lasts? Why don't we test whose love is stronger? I swear my love is unwavering, my infatuation, my yearning, my desire. You could never even wish to match it. Lalika pulled out a chair roughly, dragging the legs across the floor. ... Yet you dare to challenge me, you dare to test my love. Amelie, was that you? Amelie? Sophia took careful steps towards the chair, resting her hands against it. Or Lalika? Ha 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 ha. I mean, I feel like that's like full on like psychotic laughter. You're nothing. Sophia sat down in the chair that was offered to her while Lalika circled around as if a cat after its prey. But her steps paused as she heard something strange. Footsteps from above. The master bedroom. In front of her very eyes, Lalika watched the scene unfold. Okay, and we've seen this. A scene that made her blood run cold and her body freeze in place. My lady. The lady of the house stood beside Lalika, where before the two had stood eye to eye, now the lady stood taller than Lalika by at least a head. My lady, what are you doing here? Thank you, Grumpy. The lady removed her shoes and stepped onto the table. Did you come to punish me? Are you angry? I promise I will remove the plague that has entered our home. I swear it upon my undying love. The lady did not respond. Instead, she reached up and took hold of the thing. The rope wrapped around and exactly where the necklace that the maid had gifted the lady should have rested. Join me. Her eyes locked onto Sophia's. Her hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. Why won't you look at me, my lady? Are you truly so angry enough to despise me? For but a moment, as Sophia's outstretched hand came closer and closer, the lady's eyes turned slowly towards Lalika. They carried with it a message that only Lalika could decipher. Lalika's body shook. It trembled and trembled until she could bear it no more, and she ran from the room as fast as her legs would carry her. If the hallway still had eyes, they weren't fast enough to follow Lalika. The floorboards, as if made of quicksand, threatened to suck her up and bury her deep within the house. Her feet felt heavy and leaden. Every step was as painful as that brief glance. She raced through the hall and up a flight of stairs, past the stained glass window which left a myriad of colors over the carpeted steps, and past the doors that led to the master bedroom and Amelie's room. Closer, closer, until she arrived at a bookcase. She pushed it to the side and entered the hidden room. The room behind the bookcase was small, and not a single window faced outwards. Thus, the room was near pitch black. Each wall was plastered with handwritten letters. Handwritten letters clearly for Lalika alone. Her eyes, frantic, finally started to calm as she took in the words, her words, words left to her, for her, only for her. Lalika's eyes settled on a particular letter. Let's look ahead. Dear... Oh. So... Amelie scratched out, Dear Lalika, today was tough. I tried my hardest, but I still failed. Don't you think life is unfair sometimes? I wish trying hard enough was all it took to succeed. Sorry, I'm whinging, aren't I? Oh, here we go. I came out of my interview and it was raining. I thought just my luck, but something interesting happened. A rainbow in the distance peeking out from behind the gray clouds. It reminded me of you, and then I felt a little bit better. I hope we can meet soon. Yours, Marion. So basically, Lalika has taken the letters from Sophia to Amelie and changed the name. So instead of being to Amelie from Sophia, they're to Lalika from Amelie's mom? I'm guessing is Marion? Same sort of thing. Dear Lalika, how wonderful to hear that you're doing well. I've been very busy this week, but most of it is boring, so I won't bog you down with the details. But do you know what happened just yesterday? Of course you don't, you weren't there. I was walking home when I found an abandoned kitten. Someone left it in a box on the side of the road. How could anyone do that? Anyway, I took her home. I named her... named her Ami. And then, of course, Lalika crossed it out and said, Lily, after you. It's a little embarrassing writing it out like that. I hope you don't mind. Yours, Marion. And then we're gonna read them all. Dear Lalika, I spent the last week studying. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but everyone needs a break, you know? On my desk, I have a little cactus in a pot. To be honest, a cactus wasn't my first choice, but I've killed every other plant I've ever owned. Anyway, it bloomed. There's one beautiful flower coming out of it. I couldn't be happier. So that makes studying easier. I think your environment makes a big difference. How about you? Do you have any plants? It's me, Amelie the kitty. I'm looking forward to hearing about it next time. Yours, Marion. Interesting. She ripped the letter from the wall and clutched it to her chest, collapsing to her knees. She couldn't hate me. She couldn't. Oh my gosh, Lalika has lost it a little bit in the midst of all of this, apparently. I mean, to be fair, like the whole like death pact ritual thing also, you know, wasn't boding super well for her mental health, but you know, 500 years of being locked in a house with the daughter of your beloved. Yeah, it's not doing great. She adores me like I adore her. She entrusted her everything to me. Everything, her everything. Amelie. The letter dropped from her fingers that were neither cold nor warm. You want me to get rid of that disease, don't you? You won't accept me until I protect Amelie. Is that right, my lady? I'd do anything you ask, so if that's all I have to do, then I will do it. I will keep Amelie safe. Forever. Lalika stood from the ground and dusted off her skirt. Her face that had previously contorted in distress had finally calmed, and a smile gently crept onto her face. I love you, my lady, and for you, I will love Amelie, too. Does Lalika even like Amelie? Well, in the way that, yeah, because the way that Lalika describes it is it does feel like an instant, but Lalika clearly is having some stuff. I should light the sconces too. Where did I put those matches? Right here. She did that during Amelie's thing and it still freaks me out every time. Ah! You gave me a fright, Lalika. Where have you been? Preparing the guest room for your dear friend, of course. How kind. Sophia is just preparing for a bath at the present. I'm going to retrieve a towel for her from the linen closet. ... Amelie, I think it's best you send her home post-haste. What? Why would I do that? For all you know, she brings with her the plague. Sophia says it is now safe to travel. It should be perfectly fine, don't you think? And what if she lies? She wouldn't do that. Sophia is a kind and good-natured person. She would not bring any danger to us. Did you know that Sophia attends a local university and she lives by herself with no husband? She says that if I wanted, I could study. Study? Study. She wants to leave the house? No, she can't leave. She can't go anywhere. She belongs here. She was entrusted to me. The lady of the house should not study, Amelie. You must stay inside the house and await your parents. But I'm sure Mother would want the best for me. Perhaps while I await her, I could go inspect Sophia's school. Amelie, ... You must stay inside and await your parents' return. But don't you trust me? Have I ever tried to lead you astray? No, Lalika. I was just thinking that perhaps it is truly beginning to be safe. Look, I have brought today's newspaper. Do you see the title? The plague runs rampant. Put any notion of leaving or studying away for now, yes? As soon as it is truly safe to do so, then we shall, and you will be reunited with your family. For now, it's just you and me. Thanks, Lalika. I'm glad you're here. As am I. Ah, the towel. Let me go retrieve it. Go ahead. Alone, Lalika stared at the bathroom door, which was shut tight. Behind it, she could hear the water running. She could picture Sophia's body slowly shedding its layers of clothes before she stepped into the hot water. That image was enough to force her hand. The running water sloshed into the steel-lined wooden tub. Oh my goodness! Oh, wow!
Hello Marlo just resubscribed for 7 months. Hey, guess what? Illy.
Illy! I love you too, Marlo! 7 months! I can't believe it! Oh my goodness, how is your moving stuff going? How has it been? Are you back at home? Hype, hype, hype. You just got home, yay! Yes, Tiny Toes. Yes! Yes!
Mommy!
Yes!
Mommy! Love you!
Oh, I love you!
What is that?
It's a game I'm playing.
Hmm?
Oh, it's my drink. My beverage.
What's something to eat?
I don't know. I have leftover Thai food from lunch.
Mama?
Ooh, Marlo's
Why do
making
you
mac
got
and cheese for
Happy
Din
Meal?
Din. Oh, that's very old. Don't look at that garbage. Don't look at my trash. Don't tell everybody about it. It's not messy around here at all. Very clean. Very clean. Laddie says, hi, Tiny Toads. You wanna say hi, Laddie? And no, don't go whispering, it's very messy. Even if they can't hear you, I can hear you, you silly goose. Marlo says, hi, Tiny Toads. Do you remember Marlo? They came and hung out with us?
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, oh my goodness. Why? 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 Why is it happening? Explain. Are you a pumpkin?
No.
Are you wild? No. What are you doing? Why did you come out here to visit me? Are there any answers? Can you explain?
Because I just want.
Oh, that's so nice. It's a mischievous potato fairy. It is.
I
But-
know.
Oh, the spooky music. Hang on, hang on. It's from the game. Sorry. Oh. Are you causing chaos? Hmm? Did you build a little house for Tiny Kitten inside the living room?
Yes.
Does it have a roof?
No.
Oh my gosh, why the screaming too?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Are you coming out to give me hugs and kisses because it's bedtime already?
No.
Oh. Well, I'll take the hugs and kisses now and then you could just go right to sleep.
No.
No? No? Okay, how about you give me a hug and a kiss for now and then you can come give me a hug and a kiss later?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For the hug.
That says kisses.
Mwah. 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 Mwah.
More.
No, that's all I have for right now. But if you know what, if you go inside for a little bit before bed, I will give you all the kisses.
Yes.
How dare she be so cute, right? Like, how is that acceptable at all? Okay. Oh my god. All right, back to the creepy music. I made that. That's true. I did. Me and Grumpy made that adorable little bean. Too cute. Okay, state-of-the-art system. No one else in the country owned anything like it. Your tub system? Your taps? How many years ago was that? How long has it been? Sophia leaned over the sink, her bone white knuckles grasping either side of it. Her back was turned to Lalika. If she wanted to, she could stab her in the back and be over with it. Jeez Louise. No, I need to keep Amelie's trust. She needs to leave or go somewhere or she'll never be found. Or do it herself. Sophia lifted her face to the mirror, then froze. Her eyes bore into it as if she was seeing something she shouldn't. Lalika stared back, unmoving. It's an Ame game. It is an Ame. Well, I think it's just the fact that the name is Amelie and there's gay stuff, I think is the only thing that it has in common with Ame. But there's not as much gay stuff that I would like. It's fine. It's enough. Lalika stared back. Leave already. Who? One step at a time, maintaining eye contact through the mirror, Lalika crept closer and closer until the two were nearly touching. Why do you want to take... If a game needs more gay stuff, it's true. Why do you want to take Amelie away? Can't you see that she loves me? Me, not you. Your words are poisoning this household. If you don't leave, I'll kill you. I'll have no choice. I'll just kill you. Who are you? Sophia whipped around, but her eyes did not focus on any spot in particular. To her, Lalika was gone. Ha. Lalika walked towards an open cabinet and pulled something out. So I'm gonna go through the whole same thing, and then we're gonna sever her fate next time. Metal of the razor glinted. Lalika raised it up and she moved to stand over the bath with ease. Oh, it's Lalika's blood. Okay. So she's putting her blood in the bathtub like a silly ghosty goose. Okay, Lalika. Sophia rushed past Lalika, desperate to turn off the overflowing water before she froze once again, because the water is blood. Vampires. Time, bubble, vampire, ghost, mummy, curse, rituals. So far, we're figuring it out. The mystery. And Sophia gets in the blood tub, and why not just end it here? It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're kind of figuring it out. You aren't scared, are you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it. A knock came from the door. Lalika's widened eyes went from the door to the young woman in the bath and back again. Excuse me, I'm coming in. And we get this whole thing. So Lalika ducks behind the folding screen to hide from Amelie. And so, like, there's this whole awkward thing where Amelie sees the back of Sophia's, sees her back and is like, oh my gosh, hot girl. And she didn't wait any longer. As Amelie stepped into the room to set down the towel, Lalika quietly dashed out into the hall. Before Lalika had a chance to even catch her breath, the bathroom door opened once again and Amelie stepped out with flushed cheeks. ... Did you tell her that she must depart? No, Is something the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Your face is bright red. Sophia will stay until she decides to leave. ... No, she must leave now, tonight, no longer. As you wish. I'm sorry, Lalika, but I believe it is only fair after she traveled so far and she is my friend. That woman, that siren, look what she has done to our Amelie. I will finish preparing the guest room. Let me come help. Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come to your room. From the other side of the door, Sophia's voice came in return. Okay, thanks, Amelie. The guest bedroom was freshly cleaned with new linen on the bed and a lit lantern beside it. Fortunately, Lalika had prepared the room well in advance. You did a fine job of preparing the room so far. Thank you, Lalika. Anything for you? I was thinking tomorrow, if the rain has cleared up, we could open the greenhouse again and have morning tea there. It's been so long since we last used it. Cracks. By now, a dozen cracks stemmed from a dozen other cracks, filling the entirety of Lalika's world. At any moment, even a breeze would make everything collapse. ... Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave this house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it's only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe. You know this. What's gotten into you? Is it because of your friend? Dot, 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 dot. I just thought it would be nice to at least sit in the sun. Then you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Is it really so unsafe that even taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Yes. Sophia, I see you're done with the bath. Lalika crossed her arms over her chest, anger already rising in her chest. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes, did you see it when you arrived? I did, but it looked as if the plants inside had died. Oh, that's impossible. It's barely been any time at all since the gardeners left. I'm sure the plants inside are more sturdy than that. Well, even if they have died, maybe we could go in and replant some things tomorrow. How wonderful. Have you not heard a word I said? It is unsafe to do so. Oh, don't be such a spoil sport. I think it would be perfectly fine. Dot, 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 dot. Well, it's getting late now, so I'll leave you to retire. If you need anything, my room is just upstairs on the left. Good night, Sophia. Poison dripped from her voice as Lalika left the guest room behind. The house had a heart, and that heart was beating to the same rhythm as Lalika's. It was frenzied, on the verge of losing control. It echoed through her head, through the hall, through to every corner of the building. Like Morse code, it was as if the house itself was telling her to do something. Get rid of her. Cut out the disease. Protect Amelie. She bit her thumb, pacing back and forth. Amelie will be upset, but Amelie doesn't need anyone else. She has me. She won't be upset for long, and she'll forget. That's right, she'll forget. Her breath hitched in her throat. But what do I do? What do I do? She just won't die. My lady, what am I supposed to do? At that moment, Lalika put her ear to Amelie's door, listening intently. How about coming away with me for a while? Away? Outside of the house? What about the sickness? Away? Outside of the house? It's okay now, you'll be okay. You could come stay at my house. I could show you around my school. You don't have to go through an arranged marriage if you don't want to. Lalika's hands balled into fists at her side. Dot, 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 dot. You would do that for me? You are my dearest friend, and I actually... You think you can take her away from me? Lalika's balled fist slammed against the door, each one set of pain shooting up her arm all the way to her shoulder. Inside, the voices went quiet. So right now we're going to allow her fate? She doesn't belong to you. Lalika? Finally, Lalika snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing a short distance away from her, looking worried. Instantly, she took a deep breath and composed herself. But her heart still beat as loud as a drum, and the cracks that seemed to be centered around Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone else around, isn't it? I feel as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I'm sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. The hallway was darkened, with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way, and Lalika relished in it. On a night like this, long ago in the past, she had sealed her fate along with Amelie's, and tonight she would seal the fate of yet another person. The two rose up the grand staircase side by side. Moonlight drifted in through the stained glass window. This seemed to be the only place free from those cracks. If she squinted, she could almost see it, almost hear it. That head hitting each step with a loud thunk. Those eyes would never open again to look upon a woman with scorn. The hand that would never be raised to leave a mark on pristine skin. The sound filled her with joy. And the thought of repeating that fateful night left her footsteps light with excitement. Oh yeah, murder just leaves my footsteps light with excitement, even if it's murder, you know, of a terrible human. Lalika, may I ask you a question? Certainly. Have you ever heard of a woman loving another woman as a woman would love a man? Ooh, that was big cracks. Where did you hear such a thing? Nowhere in particular, it was just a thought that came into my mind. I think you are overtired because of all the excitement, Amelie. I think it's best you get some rest. Yes, all right. Good night, Lalika. Lalika, who was seated on the edge of Amelie's bed, stood with unsteady feet. Standing in the doorway, she looked back at Amelie. ... As her hand rested against the door, a sudden pang went through Lalika's cold heart. She is important to you, isn't she? Of course, her words have always been something that have brightened my day. Women loving women, exactly. So far, every single woman that has had even like a mention in this game has been a woman loving woman. Even if she were to leave. Leave? Well, I believe she'll leave eventually, Lalika. There's little choice, really. All I can do is hope she'll visit again. ... I see. Good night, Amelie. Sleep well. Whatever Amelie said in reply was lost in the darkness as Lalika stepped out of the bedroom. As she left the room, she noticed it. A dark shadow stalking through the night, slowly creeping through the hall. Lalika frowned. My lady, you must forgive me. I've rarely seen Amelie so happy. Is Lalika not the bad guy? But she cannot say. No, she must leave immediately, and I will make her. She stood on the grand staircase, outlined in the moon's glow. Sophia, you can't see me, can't hear me, but you can sense me, can you not? The shadow paused, her eyes going up to the staircase. There she saw a shadow warp strangely across the carpeted steps. You will leave this place immediately, and you will never come back. Lalika? The blonde girl pushed a vase from a step and it crashed to the ground below, smashing it into tiny pieces. Sophia jumped in response, a shiver running down her spine. I won't warn you again. Leave. Slowly and unsteadily, Sophia crept up the stairs until her face was almost close enough to touch Lalika's. Is that you, Lalika? In a small motion, Lalika dropped something from her sleeve. It clattered to the ground at Sophia's feet. She gripped at her shirt even more tightly. This is your last chance. I don't care whether you live or die. This is only a favor to Amelie. As if her nerves had finally got the best of her, Sophia turned on the spot and ran back down the staircase into the dark hall. Lalika followed behind her, slamming doors and knocking things down to the ground. Sophia, too scared to even turn around, ran as fast as her legs would take her until she reached the front door. Instead of being locked and closed up tightly, it sat open as if waiting for her to leave. She didn't waste even a single second more, and she was gone. She's gone. Gone. I did it. Amelie, I did it! You did what? ... Did you... This isn't what it looks like, Amelie. Please listen to me. Did you force her to leave? No, I'm going after her. Lalika jumped in front of the door, arms spread wide. You can't! What happens if she goes outside? Oops. Ah! Why? It is unsafe to do so. You belong here with me together. I've had enough of this and that being unsafe. Lalika, either you move to the side or any friendship I thought we had is gone. Lalika wavered. Her arms, which had held such conviction, began to droop. I have always done what's best for you, have I not? All of this time, have I not remained at your side? ... Please, trust me, I only did what I had to do. So this is what you've decided. Don't come near me again. Amelie turned her back on the blonde-haired woman, who dropped to her knees as she watched her leave. Amelie. Good night, Lalika. Ooh, darkness filled every inch of her brain. A voice screamed out from inside of her, mocking her. This isn't right. My lady, this isn't right. Didn't I do the right thing? I let her go. I did her a favor, but Amelie is upset. ... Her lady offered her no answer. Is this punishment for not doing as you wished? Sophia should have died. She should have died. Should have died. Died. But now she is alive and Amelie is angry. ... In that dark room, all alone, Lalika clutched onto something. Something she kept hidden in a closet, away from prying any prying eyes. She held it tighter. Its green dress fell apart at her touch. Can't you? She's like cuddling with the skeleton. Can't you make this all better again? Can't we make her forget? Her forehead fell down and rested against the other person's shoulder. They remained silent, as they had been for many long years. I'm sorry, I'll make it all better. We can make her forget, can't we? Can't we start again? Just like before, we can start again. Lalika stood, placing the skeleton of her lady carefully back in the closet. Keep waiting for me. I promise I'll make everything right again. Let's start again, Amelie. You and me, forever. Lalika walked into the room holding a tray carefully in her hands. On it sat a teapot and 2 cups. Amelie, I have brought the tea. Excellent, it smells delicious. Amelie smiled brightly, filling Lalika with happiness in return. Lalika, may I ask you something? Of course. I found this letter by the front door. Do you know where it came from? Amelie held out an envelope. The front was blank. How strange. Perhaps it was delivered here by accident. Lalika took it from her and opened it. At the bottom, it was signed, yours always, Sophia. ... Yes, it seems to be for someone else. I'll mail this back, yes? Thank you, Lalika. I appreciate it. Finished with her tea, Amelie stood first and left the room. Lalika smiled. From under the table, she pulled out a stack of envelopes that had seemed to match the one Amelie had given to her. And all at once, she threw them into the fireplace. Goodbye, Sophia. Ooh. That was 1 out of 3. Interesting. So Sophia only had 2 options, where one was, you know, be killed. And then the other, well, maybe, wait. Did she escape in one of them? I thought she died. Yeah, she died with the skeletons. No, she got trapped with the skeletons. And then that was 2 out of 2 for her. And then 1 out of 2, did she escape? Or I thought maybe she did escape. Oh, why is Grumpy messaging me? Oh, it's because that's their sound command. Okay. Okay. But yeah, and so if we don't change the fate at all, the ending is that Sophia lives, but Amelie eventually forgets about Sophia, and even though Sophia still writes, Lalika destroys the letters. Okay. I'm ready. Empty always, empty always. Let's see which ending we get this time. She died in both. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. And so there is a possibility of her living. Which would be the possibility if... So maybe the reason... I don't know. Okay. So we can skip through this bit, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Murders, murders, murders. Murders, murders. Murders. Everybody hanging out, doing all the things. Yeah, honey bun, severing the fate. What's up? Oh, you know, I think it's a little late to play Unicorn Monopoly Junior tonight, but maybe we can tomorrow when you get home from school? Oh, the pouty face is very strong, but I think it is getting to be too late. I love you. Oh, she gave me the big pouts. Okay, we severed the fate. If Lalika decided to kill her, right? That's true. So that makes sense. Sophia didn't have a choice. It was Lalika's decision. Always having fun when we're together. I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course, our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Just as much? Indeed. Come along, Lalika. Let us prepare tea. Amelie, I have something to say to you. You are my very best friend. Did you know that? So this is us, you know, severing fate. No, computer, I am not gonna update right now. Get out of here. Get out of here. I feel the same way towards you, Lalika. And as such, I feel the need to be truthful with you. You appreciate the truth, don't you? Of course, I trust your judgment very much. Is something the matter? Lie, lie, lie. Middle one. ... Your mother contacted me. She believes they'll be able to return shortly. Ah! Oh, Lalika, this is wonderful news. Indeed, she was very excited for me to pass on her message to you, but... Keep lying! Well, she wasn't pleased to hear that you had someone visiting without her permission. Oh, I thought she would be delighted that I had invited a friend. ... Your entire existence is a lie! This is definitely giving Doki Doki Literature Club vibes. Okay. Middle one. Of course, I pleaded with her that Sophia was a dear friend, but she wouldn't listen. I see. Did she say when she would return? No, but it seems soon. Then I'll send Sophia away like normal tomorrow. I can't exactly force her out in a storm, can I? ... Why not? Lalika, Naturally, I'm just teasing. Of course, it wouldn't be right to send her away at a time like this. I'm glad to hear that we've come to an agreement. How pleased I am to know that Mother will return soon. Let's go prepare tea, shall we? Okay. Did you finish the baking yesterday? The pastries are ready for serving. Is this something I can skip? Okay. Skipping all the... Oh, there's the eyeballs and, like, all that stuff. I feel like we've already read all these, right? Yeah. And they're all the same. Yeah. They have not changed. There's the kitty that was originally named Ame, but got changed to Lily in her writing. I just feel like I have to, like, read through these for some reason. Okay. Yep. And, oh, and there was the spooky thing, and your mother is returning. You say Mother is returning soon. It should be perfectly fine, don't you think? And what if she lies? She wouldn't do that. Sophia is a kind and good-natured person. She would not bring any danger to us. Did you know that Sophia attends a local university? Okay, we already know that stuff. And sever her fate again. Lalika walked towards an open cabinet and pulled something out. The metal of the razor glinted. Lalika raised it up and she moved to stand over the bath with ease. She fills the bathtub with blood. And Sophia rushed past Lalika, desperate to turn off the overflowing water. But the water is blood, blood tub. And she gets in anyway. We skip through all this stuff. Lalika is now, oh my goodness. Oh my. I need like a George Takei oh my sound alert. Oh my. You can hear me now, can't you? Why not just end it? You're scared. You're so terrified. You just came here to see your friends and look at what has happened to you. Amelie. Yes, Amelie. Amelie, where did you go? ... Where are you? Amelie. I want to see you. Shut up. You don't deserve to speak her name. You don't deserve to be in her presence. Why don't you just give up? Just sink deep into the abyss. Isn't it inviting? Sink, right? I should. Isn't the water so warm and inviting? That's right. Just sink down. Then you'll finally be able to rest. Amelie, you... A knock came from the door. Lalika's widened eyes went from the door to the young woman in the bath and back again. And Amelie's coming in, and Lalika goes and ducks behind the folding screen. It got a little bit gayer this time. And blah, 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 all the things, all the cracks. Destroy her fate. Oh, she doesn't belong to you. Lalika? Finally, Lalika snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing. So I feel like last time we had more options for what to do at this point. Like we could destroy the fate or like seal her fate. But this time, having chosen to sever her fate every step of the way, we did not have the choice to seal her fate. Amelie left the guest room. Instantly, she took a deep breath and composed herself. But her heart still beat as loud as a drum, and the cracks that seemed to be centered around Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone around, isn't it? I feel as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I'm sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. The hallway was darkened with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way, and Lalika relished in it. Okay, we've already seen all this part. And this, we get the woman-loving woman bit. And good night, Amelie. Sleep well. Tomorrow, everything will be better. Lalika stepped out of the bedroom, shutting the door softly behind her. The hall was still dark, with only a few candles to light her descent. It was quiet. Everything was asleep. The eyes that followed Lalika wherever she went were closed. The voices that crept from between the floorboards were silent. Somehow, that only made Lalika more uncomfortable. But that didn't matter, not now. She knew where she was going and what she must do. She inched closer and closer to that door that held behind it a sickness named Sophia. It was closed tight. Lalika raised her hand almost as if to knock, but instead pushed it open and entered. Just as the hallway was dark, so was the guest bedroom. The lantern had been blown out only a short while ago. No sound came from the bed. All was still. Lalika crept closer and closer until she stood over the bed like a shadow. The woman underneath her kept her eyes shut tight. Her face was calm and serene. Lalika couldn't help but smile as her hands wrapped around— oh my goodness. Murder. Still, she didn't even shift. For some reason, that made Lalika even more furious. But as a young woman named Sophia laid as still as a statue, her mind wandered back to another that had once done the same in this very house. ... A young woman who had left Amelie in Lalika's care, who had only wanted the best for her daughter, had only wanted for her to be happy. ... The problem is, she'll leave. That's the problem, isn't it, my lady? The cold fingers slowly unwound from Sophia's throat. That she'll leave and take Amelie away, but if she stays, then won't Amelie be happy? She'll be so happy always, forever. And then maybe you can. Lalika withdrew from the room in a rush, her feet carrying her faster than they ever had before, through the hall, up the stairs, and into Amelie's bedroom once again. The bed was warm and inviting. Lalika enveloped herself in that heat, wrapping her arms around Amelie tightly. Lalika? Do you want Sophia to stay here forever? What? She will leave if we don't do anything about it. She'll leave and you'll never hear from her again. ... That's not true, Lalika. She wouldn't just do that. My dear Amelie, I spoke to her just a moment ago. She was already packing up her bags. At that, Amelie rubbed at her eyes and sat up. It can't be true. ... Go check for yourself. Amelie, not wasting even a single moment, walked towards her door and peered down. From here, the moon was shining in through the stained glass just right, illuminating the hallway below. In the distance, a shadow could be seen moving. Lalika smiled. See? Because the shadow was actually Amelie's mom. Lalika picked up a toy doll that still sat in Amelie's bed, a relic from the past. Its straw-colored hair almost seemed to stand on end. Don't you want to keep her here? Don't you want her to be like this doll? Ew. Keep her here. Right. Your own special doll who will never leave you. Don't worry, I'll make it happen just for you. I'll make sure you're happy forever. Go down the hall to my room behind the bookcase. Wait for me. Amelie's eyes had glazed over, as if she wasn't truly there. She stood from the bed and picked up a small black case that rested on her nightstand before leaving the room. It wasn't long afterwards that Lalika followed in her footsteps, just in time to see Sophia ascending the staircase. She walked straight past Lalika, who was smiling happily, and approached Amelie's door. As she knocked, the door fell open with a groan. Amelie, are you in here? Amelie's waiting for you. From somewhere hidden in the darkness, a fragile melody filled the air. Almost instantly, Sophia turned toward the sound and began to follow. Lalika sped up enough to walk beside her. Isn't this great? You like Amelie, don't you? Don't you want to make her happy? She would be ecstatic for you to stay here forever. ... So why don't we help her to be happy forever? She offered no answer. They entered the room together. In the center of the room, surrounded by candles, Amelie sat. Her skirt fanned out around her. Spread out over the floor were piles of letters. Upon closer inspection, each was filled with words that had been crossed out and signed with, "Yours, Marion." Amelie, are you awake? Her eyes were shut tight, yet her hands moved enough to play the sorrowful tune. Please listen to me, Amelie. Lalika isn't. I'm not what? ... You're going to leave her, aren't you? Lalika shut the door, dragging the heavy lock across. In response, Sophia rushed backwards and tried to hit the handle to no avail. Amelie's eyes finally opened. In place of her usual golden eyes was a glare of deep red. Amelie, snap out of it, please. Snap out of it. You want to take her away? Amelie, please. One at a time, Lalika blew out the candles on the floor. The room was plunged into darkness. Amelie fell forward, her body exhausted. It's nice to meet you, Sophia. I'm sure we're going to have a fun time living together. Since you will be staying with us after all, right? Bum bum. Lalika, could you pass the sugar? Of course, Amelie. With a smile, Lalika pushed the sugar across the table towards Amelie. She picked up the teaspoon and dropped a single cube of sugar into her tea. Would you like one, Lalika? No, thank you. Just being around you makes my tea sweet enough. And you, Sophia? Oh my god, I want to see Sophia's creepy eyes. You're awfully quiet today. I'll just give you one. ... Next to Amelie sat Sophia. Perfect and pristine. To Amelie's eyes, at least. But Lalika saw the truth. Her flesh convulsed and pulsated, and her eyes bulged from what was once her head. Oh my goodness. The shape of Sophia was gone, and in its place was a mound of a person who used to be. Lalika smiled. You know she likes sugar in her tea. There's no need to ask. And you're right. I'm so happy. Sophia, Lalika, you are both so important to me. Thank you for being by my side. Anytime. Isn't that right, Sophia? From now on, it's just the three of us. The three of us. Achievement unlocked. Oh my god, they did not show us creepy Sophia. I am grateful. I'm grateful? I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I didn't need to see the mound of a person. Goodness. Jeez Louise. Well, apparently, Game Amelie, not real Ame, Game Amelie, is not the innocent victim of all of this that we maybe thought. Extreme, very much. Okay, we've got one more ending to get. Let's see if we can get it. 2 out of 3. So we're gonna skip through stuff. And so many things. Okay. So this Sever Her Fate was lying about the parents. So we are not gonna lie about the parents. We're gonna tell the truth through this bit. And then read all the letters. They're not changing, right? No. Okay. And we'll go through all of this stuff. And then we're in the bathtub situation. I think I'm going to leave it. We're not gonna be super in the bathtub with her, but we are still going to deny her fate. I'm curious if that does the trick. Okay. And we get the woman loving woman surprise. And Lalika steeled her resolve and stepped out of the bedroom. She first went back to the guest room and put her ear to the door. No sounds could be heard from behind it. Then she noticed something. Someone else walking down the hallway unsteadily. Lalika followed closely behind. Through the darkness, the other person was only a shadow, their features obscured and hidden. The sound of her light steps on the old wooden floorboards mixed in with the rain that was still raging just outside those walls. The kitchen was by the stairwell. That's right, by the stairwell, but you aren't going to the kitchen, are you? Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall. It seemed as if their eyes moved to follow Lalika's every move. Sophia stared up at the grand staircase. She seemed as if she were entranced with each and every step. I'm scared of what can happen, right? They're waiting for you. I think that this is going to be... Oh, those two people, they're calling for you. Go on, go to them. So this is going to be the skeletons one, I think. Sophia, unsteady hand reached for the banister. Her ascent was slow and careful, her eyes fixed on that door, that special door, that room where the maid had met her end and her most hated person rested beside her, that room where she had made a promise to the person she loved. Lalika needed only to reach into the kitchen to procure the item that was waiting for her, had been waiting for her all this time since Sophia had arrived. A knife with dark age stains over the blade and hilt. Long had it sat there festering, waiting. Skeletons. Yeah, the skeletons. Desperate for more. More. Like a hunter stalking her prey, Lalika followed behind Sophia, this knife gripped tightly in her hand. The two stood side by side, staring at the door to the master bedroom. Had been shut tight for countless years. Sophia trembled. With a smile, Lalika reached over to give her arm a squeeze. Go on. You want to know the truth, don't you? Yes. Time, bubble, vampire, ghost, curse, mummies, ritual, werewolves, right? There's werewolves? I don't know. You can hear their voices. I'll allow you this much. With a careful motion, Sophia pushed the door open. All at once, countless memories came flooding back of love, hope, of the future, and of death. Sophia disappeared into the dark room, the only light being a candle she carried in her hand. A family of mice ran out from the room and down the stairs. The taste of freedom was oh so sweet for them. More quiet than the mice that had escaped, Lalika followed Sophia into the room. Wax dripped from the burning candle onto the wooden floor. She trembled as she reached a shaky hand to the bed. And at the same moment, Lalika swung the door closed behind them and the room plunged into darkness. But that darkness didn't matter to Lalika, not to she, who knew this room like the back of her hand. Amelie, is that you? Amelie isn't here to save you. Sophia's eyes searched the room to no avail. I'm sorry I came in here after you asked me not to. I'll just go now, okay? The pale-haired woman fell back onto the bed before she had a moment to react. The yellowed bones of the lord of the manor and the maid rattled underneath her, flesh long deteriorated. Lalika smiled. How long has it been since I last saw myself truly? What? Ah! Ah! It looks like we're finally meeting, Sophia. With a leg on either side of her, Lalika held Sophia down to the bed, still smiling. She tried to squirm, tried to escape, to run free. Her eyes were filled with terror. You won't take her away from me. Murder. Sophia's scream became muffled cry. Murder, murder, murder. Haha. Finally. My lady, did you see? Are you watching? I've saved her. I've saved Amelie. Only when Lalika tried to stand did she notice it. An aged bone poking out from her stomach. ... Dark liquid dripped out from around it. With a slight frown, Lalika pulled it free. Ugh. It's okay. It'll be okay. Lalika closed her eyes. I'm just a little tired. I'll just sleep for a bit. Her eyes grew heavy. So heavy. So heavy that the only option would be to sleep at this very moment. How could you do that? Ew. Ew! Lalika, why? Why? Why would you hurt Amelie like that? Why did you kill Amelie? Ah! Ah! Her eyes opened with a start, her heart racing faster than it had ever raced before. The room seemed to be spinning and her head throbbing. Then she saw it. Lying on the bed between the two skeletons was the body of a young woman. A young woman with long brown hair. Her dress was stained red. Amelie? No, that's not. Who did this? Who? Sophia? Amelie, wake up. Wake. She blinked and the young woman below her disappeared. In her place, Sophia appeared. The room was still dark. Not even a drop of sunlight peeked through the covered windows. Ha 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 ha. What a cruel trick of the eyes. She stepped out from the master bedroom just as Amelie did the same right next door. Good morning, Lalika. I was just on my way to see if Sophia had awakened yet. Amelie, Sophia disappeared during the night. I believe she went to the same place your parents went. What? That cannot be right. Don't run, Amelie. Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quickly on the door to the guest bedroom, which fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was disheveled and her luggage was strewn about. It's not true. She wouldn't just leave without saying goodbye. Dearie me, I'm sorry. I told you it was a bad idea for anyone to visit, didn't I? Oh, Lalika, this isn't fair. I thought she said we would. There, come here. Lalika wrapped her thin arms around the young woman, gently patting her on the back. See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. I won't ever leave you. Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes. We'll be together forever. ... Amelie froze in Lalika's arms before pulling back completely. What is going on here? What is this? What is all this about? Hello? Hello? Okay. That's not creepy. What happened to your face? My face? Lalika's hands went to her face instantly. Is something wrong? Amelie's expression had darkened, her mouth shut firmly in a line. My face. Pulling a small mirror from her pocket, Lalika finally saw it. Oh, okay, Grumpy. a black void of nothingness where her face should have been. ... She turned and ran down the hall and up the stairs before Lalika could even call out after her. The void seemed to seep out from her very skin, oozing, leaking out from the wound at her stomach. That... rude thing to say about another person. Amelie, wait, it's okay. Everything will be... Lalika's hand that reached out towards Amelie fell to her side. At the top of the staircase, in this manner, in the middle of a field far out in the countryside, Amelie stood in an open doorway. A doorway that hadn't been opened to her in more years than she could truly imagine. And inside, she witnessed a sight she never should have. Her eyes hollow and her body petrified. Sophia. Amelie, this isn't... Stay away from me! ... Her long brown hair cascaded around her as Amelie rushed into her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Lalika rushed up the staircase, banging her fist against the locked door. Amelie, this is all a misunderstanding. She wanted to hurt you. I've saved you. She fell to her knees, her fist still pounding on the wooden door. A muffled sob came from within, then silence. The void surrounded Lalika, flowing from her wound and wrapping itself around her body. She curled into a ball. The sound of a chair hitting the ground inside the bedroom was the last sound Lalika heard before her eyes closed and she became one with the void. Achievement unlocked, one with the void. Well, I mean, I guess for that ending, at least Lalika kind of gets what's coming. Because like when in Amelie's, you know, side, we didn't get that. Is this really okay? Oh my god, there's more! But we didn't get that piece of it in Amelie's side. It ended with them being together forever. What about the future? Should you try again? I feel like we've gotten them all, though. The room was dark. Amelie had long gone to bed, leaving Sophia alone in her room. She ducked her head under the cover and pulled out her phone. Still dead. Her phone's dead, not her. Okay, phone's dead. But she's checking her phone. Good. Sophia clutched it to her chest. What do I do? What exactly is going on here? ... Sophia's body stiffened up. Her back was to the door, but her mind screamed not to turn around. Footsteps crept closer. Closer and closer until... Stay away from me! Ah! Amelie. Sophia threw her bedding at the approaching person and jumped to her feet, ready to run. The person she saw collapse to the ground was not the person she was expecting. Oh my gosh, Amelie, I'm so sorry. Sophia knelt down, quickly helping the brown-haired girl to her feet. It's quite all right. I didn't mean to scare you. I apologize. No, it's my fault. I'm too jumpy. I'm glad that you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Sophia's arms draped over Amelie's shoulder and she pulled her in tight. Amelie froze for a moment. Oh, I can go back? Yeah. Amelie froze for just a moment before she melted into the embrace. I'm here. But is everything all right? ... No, I don't think everything is all right. What could be the matter? ... Amelie, my phone died as soon as my cab approached your house. This is the line I've been waiting for. This is the line I have been waiting for this whole time. She finally said it. My phone, my cab. Yes, Sophia. Sophia. We had to get all the other endings. But finally, Sophia is saying real human words. Like she should. Good job. Good job. Goodness. She pulled out her phone, showing her the black screen. ... What exactly is that? ... My mobile. Amelie picked it up curiously, turning it in her hands. You've never seen a phone? What is it used for? For texting? Sophia, my god. Making calls, playing games, those kinds of things? Amazing. ... Amelie, what year is it? What year is it? What year is it? What year is it? Oh my god, I need that. Can someone find the GIF from Jumanji of Robin Williams saying, "What year is it?" and post it in Discord for me, because I need that GIF. I need that GIF in my life for this moment. What year is it? What year? What year? Tell me. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited. What year is it? Why do you ask? Please. 1665, of course. I'm gonna take a big ol' swig of my beverage. Oh my goodness. Dot, 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 dot. Look at her face! Look at her face! Oh my God. Sophia took a step back from Amelie. What is it? Amelie, this makes no sense. Lalika, this house, you... Dot, dot, Amelie, it's 2021. What? Sophia, that's preposterous. Oh my God. She fell back onto the bed, her legs not able to hold her up any longer. Oh my God, Amelie, you're not joking. You're really... Are you feeling unwell? Maybe you need to get some rest after all. Amelie, please listen to me. Out there, the world has changed. We have phones, cars, computers. We don't need a husband. We don't need permission to buy a house. We can go to school, get a job, do whatever you want. I know I probably sound crazy to you right now, but please, please, I'm telling you the truth. Dot, 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 dot. You're trying to tell me that nearly 400 years have passed and I've been stuck here. How would that even be possible? I don't know. Amelie, how long have we been writing to each other? Well, I don't know. It's been 5 years. Dot, 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 dot. I need to find Lalika. She'll know what's going on here. No, wait. You can't ask Lalika. Why not? I can't see Lalika, Amelie. I haven't seen her once. But she's been here from the start. I've only seen you in this house, Amelie. Something is going on within this house that has kept you stuck here, and I think she is the one that has done it to you. Dot, 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 dot. That can't be true. Then why don't we go find out together? How? The master bedroom. Lalika was the one who said you couldn't enter, wasn't she? Dot, 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 dot. Please. Sophia reached out her hand carefully. Amelie stared at it, unsure before deciding to take it. I don't understand what's going on, but I trust you. Let's go. Oh my God. I am also shaking. Amelie! The hallway was still dark with no sign of Lalika anywhere. If she appears, then tell me, okay? Okay. Hand in hand, the two walked quickly through the hall and up the staircase. There they stood in front of the master bedroom, side by side. Their hands were sweaty. No matter what's in there, I'll be by your side, okay? Amelie offered no words, instead just squeezing Sophia's hand gently. Thank you, Grumpy, for putting it in the Discord for me. I'm also freaking loving this. This is like so good right now. And at that, Sophia pushed the door open. This story is very good. It's the Ame story. Just like the rest of the house, the room was dark and quiet. Only the moon shining in from the dirty window guided the two in. It smelled musty, as if they were in a tomb, only just uncovered, not a bedroom. They crept closer and closer to the bed. It was surrounded completely by the canopy, keeping whatever was hidden inside. With a shaky hand, Sophia reached towards the light velvet. At once, the truth came into view. Amelie gasped and almost fell to her knees, but Sophia's hand kept her steady. Dot, 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 dot. I'm sorry, Amelie. But they left. They left only a few weeks ago. Dot, dot, dot. It looks like they've been gone for a very long time. Amelie, I know this is hard to believe. I find it just as hard to believe as you do. Please, we have to leave this house. Now. Before Lalika finds us. She knew. I think that you've been bound to this house by her. We need to find a way to leave. Dot, dot, dot. Okay. Let's freaking go! The two only got halfway down the stairs when Amelie grounded to a halt. Sophia turned to look at her, her eyes wide in surprise, only to see that Amelie's expression was one of immense fear. Lalika, what are you two doing out of bed? ... Lalika, so you went in there? She nodded upstairs. You lied to me, only to keep you happy. Happiness with lies as their foundation isn't true happiness. And why not? We've been perfectly happy here for longer than you've even existed, and you come along and... I'm sorry, Amelie, I'm so sorry. Lalika burst into tears, wiping at her eyes with her sleeve in a desperate attempt to stop them from overflowing. You thinking you fall asleep to this stream? I'm sorry for keeping you up, Ame. Lalika. Wait, Amelie, don't. Amelie took a step towards Lalika as if to comfort her. Please don't leave, Amelie. Can't we stay here together? ... Amelie, she's lying to you. She wants to keep you trapped here, please. But, please. Amelie. Sophia pulled on Amelie's arm, forcing her to turn to face her. Amelie's eyes were filled with confusion. I know you two have been together for a long time. I know, I can't compete with that, but I want to give you the life you deserve. Yes, you deserve to be free, to live, to experience everything you've missed out on, not be stuck in time here forever. And the truth is, yes, it finally got gay enough, yes. Whatever words were coming next were lost before they were even spoken as Sophia leant forward and placed a gentle kiss against Amelie's lips. Yes! Yay! I might legit cry. I'm like feeling so many feelings right now. So many feelings. I amethyst. The cries from below extinguished in an instant as Lalika watched on in horror. It's gay! But just for a moment, the rest of the world melted away, and all that existed were the two of them, Amelie and Sophia. Amelie closed her eyes. The sensation was new and foreign, yet not unwanted. Butterflies were let loose in both of their stomachs, where they connected. Heat spread throughout their bodies, and then Sophia pulled away. The truth is, Amelie, I have liked you for a very long time. And even if you don't like me back, I want to help you. I want to help you live again. Amelie, don't listen to her. ... Okay. A decisive smile came to Sophia's lips. She had no time to dwell on the sudden kiss nor her confession that would usually make her feel so nervous she'd be sick. All she had time for was to escape. Her eyes went down the hall where an enraged Lalika stood in their path. ... The windows were bolted down, unable to be opened. There was nowhere at all to escape, that is, except... Do you trust me? I do. Sophia didn't need any more of a confirmation. With Amelie in hand, she turned, ran, and jumped. Dang! Through the window! Through the window! The glass shattered as the two girls hit it hard. They fell, surrounded by the shards, until they hit the ground below. The moon shone from high above, shielded away by the storm that never seemed to end. Amelie, are you okay? Yes, I think so. Sophia rushed to Amelie's side, quickly helping her to sit up. Side by side, they looked up at the remains of the stained glass window. Lalika stood completely still. ... I can see her. ... I'm sorry, Lalika, but... Lalika just shook her head. She grasped at her throat with her hand, and her lips moved, but no sound came out. Giving up, she looked back at Amelie, holding eye contact. Her expression wasn't angry anymore. It was just sad. She lifted her hand and waved a slow and small motion before she crumbled to dust on the wind. It stopped. Lalika. It seemed it wasn't you bound to this house by her, but the other way around. What am I meant to do now? Amelie, you're free. You can do whatever you wish. Nope. Sophia, exhausted, once again wrapped her arms around Amelie, who returned the gesture almost immediately. There they embraced under the now free moon. In this manner, in the middle of a field, far out in the countryside, a curse was broken. It's a curse. A young woman freed. What her future held wasn't certain. After all, the future never is. But she made her decision on that fateful night. To trust in the future. To trust in herself. No matter what. My heart! I have so many feelings! So many feelings! I think this is also the first time that we like officially got the credits too. Oh my god, it was so good! Like, when we kind of started with it, I'm like, okay, mystery, horror, spooky, scary, like a little bit, well, I don't know. And oh my god, oh, look at this, that's cute. And you, they're thankful for us. Oh, my heart. I finally finished the story. Yes, I know. I'm like, you can't see my arms, but I'm like literally like grabbing onto myself, like self-soothing. Amelie, I'm back from class. Sophia, quick, come here. Is something the matter? No, look. Amelie held a phone screen up to Sophia, who just laughed in response. You got a 5-star character in that game you like. Isn't it amazing? All I had to do was insert the numbers on that card you gave me. Oh no! Oh no, Amelie! No, do not put the numbers in the phone. Not into the games. No, don't do that. The future truly is astounding. ... We'll talk about it later. Oh, what's this? I'm not sure, it was slipped under the door while you were out. A plain white envelope sat on the coffee table. Nothing on it identified who sent it or who it was addressed to. With little concern, Sophia opened it and pulled out a letter. But the words may as well have been a different language, as she could not read them. Her eyes went straight to the name at the bottom of the page. The curse of the credit card. Yours, Lalika. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay. I love that they left it that way. So good. So good. Could I get some exclamation point claps in the chat for Amelie? That was so good. So fun. Also, like, roller coaster. It was really fun too, like, you know, as far as virtual novels go, a lot of the gameplay is really just reading it, and I have so much fun getting to like read it out loud and do all the different voices. And like, I don't know if you could feel it with me, but near the end there, like, I'm like yelling. Like, I'm glad I have a noise gate on my microphone. Oh, but we did it. We completed a game. Bum, 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 bum. Very good. I am sorry, Ame, for keeping you up, for making you get trapped inside your own story, the name Ame story. But yeah, so good. Oh my goodness. I don't think I could have asked for a better like story game to like really dive into, because I love Long Live the Queen, but like this was a story game. Like, this had like everything I want in a story game. Like, it'd be cool to have more options in terms of like how you could have different endings and stuff, but like, I do appreciate that it tells us, right? It says like, here are the endings you can get, and then there's like, you want to continue? And I'm like, I have a feeling. And so Amelie trapped you. That's right, she did. She trapped you with her wonder and sweetness and all the possibilities. But yeah, I think it had a cute message, right? Like, about trusting in yourself and deciding your own future and all of that. I think, I don't know. I just thought like that piece of it was really sweet. The part where Sophia is like, you don't have to have a husband. I was like, yeah, I'll get it. And so, I don't know. I just really appreciated it so much. So much. And I am thinking about where I would like to go in terms of visiting a friend. And you know who we had not gone to see in a while is our dear friend Oodles of Noodle. Because I'm gonna go and heat up my Amelie trapped you with her gayness. I do love that, like, literally everybody's gay in the story. That just is great. Made me very happy. But we'll go see Oodles of Noodle. I'm gonna go reheat myself some of my Thai noodles, and then I'm probably gonna hang out in the Discord maybe for not like too long, but like a couple hours. Maybe play some Don't Starve. I think after that game, I'm not quite in a Phasmo mood, but if anybody wants to not starve with me, Lottie and Ame, both of you are on East Coast time. Thank you so much for staying up with me. I know it's late for you, but if you want to go and actually fall asleep, not because it's not wonderful and amazing, but because it's cozy and also just like one of my favorite spaces to be, let's go and see Oodles of Noodle. Let me get this in here correct. Oodles of Noodle _ She is playing Animal Crossing. It is like her second time ever playing Animal Crossing. So let's go and hype her up for it. And here is the sub-raid command, the raid command, all of those things. And I will be back for sure Wednesday for some Sims. And I'll be around in the Discord all the other times. And yeah, thank you guys. This was so much fun. I love to be able to do this kind of thing and have it not be like a stupid, problematic, triggering game, but just be like spooky and creepy and also gay. That makes me so happy. And so thank you guys so much. I love you all. I'm sure I will either see you in Discord tonight or some other time this week. And yeah, get some good rest. Take care of yourself. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.